don't know, man. I don't think I look exactly like a college professor. In a way, I kind of look like Gallagher going to a business meeting. Looking his highfalutin best. It's a sledge-matic and shit. Classic humor. Tonight, we're going to be talking about pie charts. I knew I'd do that. Pie charts. Well, not exactly that kind of pie. But you know what? I specifically use pie charts for this reason. I moved into the property that I now sit on 12 years ago on Pi Day. It was Pi Day 2008. I moved in. Now, for people that used the library as Google before there was this internet, they would know what I'm speaking of, man. 3.14, March 14th. That's why I moved in. It was Pi Day. Well, today we're going to be talking about pie charts as they account to statistics, because I think that this is the biggest dilemma here. I think that that's what's not feeding through, is the statistics that I speak of. I think that people are lost on it for a good amount of reasons, of which I will cover in pie charts. You see, within this crime, one that I generally speak on, and every other unsolved crime, for that matter, to this magnitude, there always in lies rumor. There always in lies tabloidism. There always in lies a little bit of truth with a little bit of rumor and speculation thrown in just to create a story and a headline that's going to draw people in for the views. That's how these other channels operate to me. I do not care for them. I do not watch them. And if you send me anything like, oh, you got to go see this video, realize now I will ban you. You will be banned as such. See this pie chart? See that little blue line? Those are the people who would not be banned for sending me somebody else's video. You see, the same as this pie chart is here, that whole red right there is how much that I don't. I really don't care. Whatever they say is what they looked up. That's what they found. That's what they say is real. Would it go through me like that? No. Survey says no. It probably would not. In fact, I could give a less as to what it is that they say. But this is what I feel is going on. I think that most people, when they say that they are researching this crime, they are looking into this crime, what they are really indicating to me is I go to everywhere that has something wrote down or something that I can view on this crime so I can hear everybody's little bullshit, all their lies, all their mythology, all their tabloidism, and pull that together and sit here acting like I know stuff when in fact I don't know a single. That's what I think's going on. So today I want to discuss a little bit of that, about what all these other channels bring to the table and what I bring to the table. And as we near around this corner, back to the time of which I knew would occur one day, back on December the 9th of 2018, I knew one day that the day would come around. That day is vastly approaching. And what I want is for you not to be like them. Because let me tell you about them. I went to Kroger's the other day to do some shopping. I walk in and I realize I'm the only person not wearing a mask. And I was damn proud of that. Very proud. I don't want to be confused with the run-of-the-mill idiot. There's a reason why they laugh at you. Because you'll believe anything. All they got to do is throw it on the news, mandate it by the state. You'll wear a bandana over your face thinking it makes you safe from viruses. You will. Because they know you're that fucking stupid. They know that. When the state mandates a mask, they're not taking it back. They're not going to take it back. You ain't going to leave your house without your slave mask on. You're kind of numbered there, pal. That's why I won't use a mask. That's why I won't wear one. So I'm in Kroger's and I'm looking around. I feel like I'm in a zombie movie. I think, for the love of God, people really are idiots. They really, really are. They have no way to fact check. They don't even know what fact check means. They ask Google, Google, what's the flying speed of a hummingbird? See, I told you, dude. Yeah, I can Google stuff, man. I know things, all right? I'm really bright like that. I'm millennial. Right on. That's how people look into shit. People just are really underrated as far as their intellect. I don't think that people are stupid. I think they're just programmed and brainwashed into the little beliefs that they have. You tell somebody long enough, after a while, they'll just start to believe it. They will. They will. It's like Corona. Ain't no such thing as Corona. Yes, there is, dude. Or the state wouldn't mandate that we have to wear a slave mask. Now, please, watch what you say. Please. People aren't bright. People are run-of-the-mill stupid in a lot of ways. So today we're going to look at the case over here in Delphi. And we're going to see what it is that we can make a determination about this crime, the realities, the specifics, the facts, the evidence, the circumstances of this crime, and what people out there really say and get views on their channel with. Because people, let me tell you about stupidity. I'm talking not a little bit. I'm talking 99% stupid tabloidism out the wall. There are people out there right now. One of them may be here right now, man, just to like kind of quote Doug Carter. One of them may be watching right now. Thinks flannel shirt guy might play a hand in it. Never been there a day in their life. Don't even know this guy, but they was on Reddit, and damn it, they read something that just assured them this guy was a sneaky little bastard. People are that fucking retarded. People are not bright out there. Now, I've always made this connection. I've always said, well, those who watch my channel cannot be that stupid, or they would not be viewing my channel. Okay? And I mean no offense by this. None. Zero. But I want to throw something out here. I was on another person's channel, and I don't know this person, but I do know them by name, and they watch my channel. And they've always watched my channel. I mean, not always, but I mean, like in recent, they've always watched my channel. And when I'm live, I will see them on here. Now, I was watching somebody else's channel the other day. Most of you know who I'm talking about because they're here right now. And this person said, well, I had that completely in reverse. I thought that Thomas Bruce was Daniel Nations, and Daniel Nations was Thomas Bruce. And I was taken aback by that. I'm like, this person's watching my channel every week? And they think I'm talking about Daniel Nations? It was like, when I say things, man, about Thomas Bruce, do people even go look into that? Do any of you actually go to Google and just look this up just to fact check and make damn sure that what I'm saying is real? I mean, if I'm mentioning how somebody looks like this, was dressed like that, had did this and had not done that, had done this, these things occurred, do people just take me at my word and go, well, he's just rambling about that guy again? Or do you go look that up and be sure that, hey, this guy is speaking the honest truth? Maybe, just maybe, we should look into this guy because I don't think it's so fucking far-fetched now. That's what people should be doing. But they're not. People can't be. Because if that was the fucking reality, if it was, I should have every subscriber ever that looked into this case should be right here at my channel. Let me tell you, people aren't that bright. People will go to other channels and listen to what they have to say. Like it contains some amount of fact or big truth. If it did, and you know what? I did. There is 2 channels, and I need to put them on my recommended thing. One of them was, and I forget the name of it. I want to say it was Murder Was the Case, but that ain't it. It was another one. It covered more criminal psychology. I thought they did a real good job, a damn good job when they was talking about a case because they was really going into the deeper aspects of it, and I like that. But they was a really good channel. I think the other was like True Crime Garage. They did really good. I kind of enjoyed what they talked about. But they don't just talk Delphi. I mean, and that's something that I like because I can watch that. But if it's just simply Delphi that somebody covers, more or less covers that, mainly it is tabloidism. Don't end with some mythology. Let me give you some mythology. Local rumor. That's what people like to call it. If you got somebody that was abducted, presumed murdered, okay, what's going to come out in due time? Come on, just think about it. Just roll through things that just might come to the top that people just might start throwing around at the bar. Fed dogs. That's one. Fed the hogs, man. The person did it, okay, right, and after they got him, man, they fed him to hogs. That way there'd be no trace, no DNA. You know, people start going through this because they've heard it before, it's stuck in their head concerning a different case. So why don't I sound like I know what I'm talking about by repeating this as a possible something that may have happened to this disappeared person that we presume dead? That's how people do. I think it was last week, somebody said something about like, oh, when he was arrested, Thomas Bruce, he said, you have no idea of what all I've done. And I said, yeah, it's taken right out of textbook of Ted Bundy. That's how people relate that. That's how people relate. They heard it before, so they go that route. Well, I can guarantee you right now, no cop came out and said that, because if he did, I would have knew about it long and ages ago. It did not happen like that. So let's kind of cover some of this. The Delphi murders happened on February the 13th, 2017. Now, I say this because I didn't know of it. We live, and I mean, seriously, if you knew where I lived exactly, I live right up the road from Delphi in a different county, but right up the road. I can go right out here at my driveway, literally pick up a big stone, chuck it as far as I can, and likely land that into Carroll County. That's how close I am. My property borders Carroll County. All right. So I'm out. I'm down at my friend's house, which I went down there every night at 10:30 on the dot. Bap, bap, bap. That was my knock right there, 10:30, man, right to the T of time. I'd go in, we'd go in, sit down, generally watch a show, discuss the day's events, stuff like that. It gave me about an hour out of the house, and then I'd return. Did that every night for 7 years. So I'm down there, and I return home at 11:30 because at 11:30 is when I would leave. I say, well, it's about time for me to go. And then I would get up here, and maintain, like house, so on, ice cream before bedtime, whoop-de-woo, bed. So I come up here, man, and I click on Fox News because my channel at that time basically related to world events. This is what's going on. This is why it's going on. This is how they're selling it to you as being for your own good, because people love it when something's for their own good. You can take everything in the world away from them as long as it's for their own good. Then they understand. Then they get that they're just a little fucking slave. Oh, well, we don't need that. It's for our own good. Someone could die. Bullshit. So I come up here. I'm going over, man. I click on Fox News. And first thing I see is like 2 missing girls found dead in Indiana. 2 missing girls found dead in Indiana. I'm thinking down south because I didn't hear of it. It wasn't on the news. My friend down here, man, he was in front of his TV 24/7. When he wasn't at work, he was in front of his television. We didn't hear about it. We didn't even know 2 girls were missing just up the road the day before. No idea. I mean, they had to search. I mean, everything. I mean, like all of Carroll County right there. No, right here, we knew nothing of it. Didn't even hit the news. So I'm reading through it. I'm looking it over, and it's talking about Delphi, and I'm seeing Monon Trail, and I'm like, man, Monon Trail's down by Indy. Like, how does that take it up by Delphi? You see where I'm at? So I'm looking that over, and I open the whole article, and I'm reading down through there, and then I find Monon High Bridge Trail. I'm like, man, where's that? So I go to Google Maps, and I look it up, man, Monon High Bridge Trail. Bam, there it is, and it pulls it up, and I'm like, holy shit. Man, that's right up the street from my dad. Like, I didn't even know that there was a trail system there. I didn't even know it was there. And I thought, man, that is Delphi. Man, that's crazy. Well, I've seen the names of the girls. And my friends that lived down here, they had a daughter that was the age of the older girl. And she had a friend that was named the same thing, first name. So I went down and told him what had happened and wanted to see if like it was her friend, because her friend didn't live right here, where, you know, in the vicinity right here where we live at. And it wasn't, you know, of course, but I told them about that. And they was like, are you kidding? I'm like, no. I said, seriously, man, look it up, man. Go on your phone, check it out. I said, it's true, right there in Delphi. So that kind of began looking into the case. Now, I was just following law enforcement. I mean, if you see where I'm at, I was just following what law enforcement was giving out because I didn't know anything. I mean, I was like everybody else in the world, man. I'm just reading the news. All I know is what the news is giving me right there. And I mean, like nobody knew anything. So I gave Greeno a message, got on Facebook, and I'm like, hey, dude, man, real bad catastrophe crime has occurred here in Delphi. You know, and I thought that he was in the Carolinas. So I wrote in that message and I said, you got to get back here because, you know, we got to keep up to date on this as to what law enforcement is doing, because, I mean, this is going to be big. They're going to be taking this guy down, man, like any minute. You know, I sent this message and he was like on Facebook. He sent me one right back. He's like, dude, I'm in Delphi. What? You're in Delphi? Like, what did you do? Fly when you heard? Or, I mean, like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He's like, yeah, I'm in Delphi. I'm heading your way. And I'm like, okay, great. Fantastic. So him and I, for the first year plus, basically covered this. You know, this was what we was doing. We was just following what law enforcement was doing in regards to the videos we was putting out. Other people, however, let's see, at 90%, and 90% of people was already looking into people, already handing out people that they thought may have did it that quick. You know, you had sexual predator people that they're throwing up, flannel shirt guy, RL, you know, was on that list. People already had people in their minds that they thought had did it and was putting that out as such everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, you know, any place where that they had a feed and to hand people their shit, they was feeding people. You know, they was just getting this bucket loads of shit, man, and just showering people down with it. People believe that. People love that shit. When people research something, what they're really saying is, I look into it like I'm the National Enquirer. I'll believe anything unless it's shown to be wrong, you know. I'll believe it. I'm pretty stupid. It's really easy to pull one on me. All you got to do is try. That's most people researching this crime. That's exactly how they think. They don't know it. They think they're really smart. They really do. They really do. I've had people get a hold of me, man, and say, look, man, I've researched this since the beginning, man. Here's what I want to know. And once they start talking, I'm like, stop. Firstly, stay the fuck off of Facebook. Don't ask me stupid questions again. I will hang up on your ass because people are just too confused. They don't know what the reality is. They don't know. They don't. They only know what they've seen from others. That's it. That's what they fucking know. When I talk to somebody, I'd be like, have you ever been out there? Oh, no, I'm not even from Indiana. Well, why do you think it would be so hard for somebody to learn the trails? Well, it's trails. No. It's really one trail and one trail back. That's the trail. It's 15 minutes down to the bridge, 15-minute walk back. That's the trail. It's not an expanse of trails. It's not miles long. The property I sat on is larger than Monon High Bridge Trail. So it don't take somebody that long to learn the trails. However, right from the go, I knew the person had been there before. It was pretty obvious because of the way that it went down. The girls were abducted on the railroad tracks, as we found, and taken across down the side, up the thing, and across the creek over to private property. Well, when you've been there, when you've been to Monon High Bridge Trail, Then you see that when you're walking up to Monon High Bridge, the railroad bridge, you see that all the property to your right is private property. You see, it's not part of the trail. Okay? So you know that when you're walking up there, if you go down and cross that creek, you're on private property. You're no longer on the trail. It does not take a rocket scientist to figure that out. It does not. It takes somebody with a third grade education to figure that out. Somebody that can read could figure that out. Does not take a computer hacker to get this knowledge. It just don't. Then again, like when you're talking to people today, people will go like, well, I kind of believe that they were catfished online. Yeah, man, your best friend fucking tell you that shit? Did he? Sounds like you're pretty adamant about it. Like you might know something. I don't think you know any goddamn thing. Because to put it quite honest, man, I know how the FBI would run a case. And I know that if anybody, anyone, under any proxy server had reached them in any way in the last 2 months, those motherfuckers would have been looked into immediately and arrested. That was the information that they had and was going on. Friends, family, online. Check it all out first. People still believe that, though. Gary Kurtz. I think he did. I think he did, man. Charles Eldridge. Well, you know, and then they'll start going through like that they know something about this guy. They don't. I looked into Charles Eldridge. Prior criminal record. That means no. Gone. Not him. This man that committed the Delphi murders, no crime ever committed by him. Zero. Before February 13th of 2017. Zero crimes committed by that man. People will hop right on this, though. Why? Because they're the National Enquirer of Research. That's why. They are the National Enquirer of fucking research. They believe what they fucking hear. By anybody. They don't give a shit. If it sounds good to them, well, that fits what I believe. That's people. That's how people do shit. Well, Justin, apparently, if he was that interesting to you, apparently you didn't know anything about the crime then. Because he never held any interest to me. When I went and I looked at Charles Eldridge, prior criminal record, okay, stops right there for me at 99%, because I know that this person had never committed a crime before that. Not only that, I knew that they had DNA, said that right off the go. I know that they got DNA. Said that before they even came to my house and said, we can't clear you without a DNA sample, that they had DNA. And I was the first person, I do believe the very first person to put that out in video. Yes, they do have DNA. Then they came out with it, though. Yeah, we do have DNA. We do have suspect DNA. We have that. Outstanding. Now, after the first year press conference, when I was told by, you know what, I should just play that. I shouldn't really go oh, there it is. Shouldn't really go the other direction here. I should just go pull that up real quick. Oh, shit. And what did I do? Oh, yeah, don't do that anymore. Let's see. You know what? I don't even know where in the hell that's at. I have it, for sure. Man, what now? Yeah, you know what? Maybe I don't. Maybe I got it somewhere else. Possibly. Pictures. Delphi. You know what, man? I know where it is. No, I don't. Yeah, I do. Anyway. When I was talking to Trooper Kim Riley, he told me, when I was asking about their investigation, he says, well, it's like the suspect has never committed a crime before. So my immediate question to him was, are you saying that because the DNA has no match in the database? Well, he stated, I can't speak on that. And maybe he has done something, but we can find no traces of him. Now, in knowing that they have DNA, in knowing that that DNA did not come back with a match, well, DNA is taken from a suspect in various cases of violence. It can be taken. But for a law enforcement officer to say, and I quote, it's like this man has never committed a crime before. What does that say? What does that tell you? Anybody. When you are arrested, what is it that they take every single time? Fingerprints. And since that time, since the first year press conference, I had maintained to the side that they do have fingerprints. Yeah, now Sheriff Lesenby's come out. Well, we do have like some, you could call it latent fingerprints. Call it what? They got fingerprints. That's what they got. They got fingerprints. Now, let me kind of back this up a little bit. I'm going back to 97 and 99. Mary Pryor and Ann Pace, Genesee County, Michigan. When TJB, Thomas Jerome Bruce, if you do not know who he is, this is how his name is spelled. Right down here. I want you to go look him up. Look him up. That's his name right there. Copy that name. Copy the name. Now, go to Google. Drop it in there. Hit search. Go to images and look at him. Look at his face. Look at the first sketch. Do you see anything? Do you? I do. I see the man that did it, one, not just from that, but from let's say 95% of the other shit that I found using pie charts, just like that, just like right here. Kind of a wacky Gallagher professor tonight. But man, I am kind of being a little light on that. So when you go to these other places, these other websites, and they're talking about all this, and I want to put it polite, but then again, I don't. When they're talking tabloidism, when they're talking mythology, when they're finding like little, I don't even know what you would call it, man. Maybe some little piece of fact that they can bend and twist and make a big catchy headline, and you go, oh my God, I'm really going to learn something today. And you go view that and you walk away feeling like you know something, but you don't. You know why? It's because you're not really looking at the big picture. You're looking at what they say and taking it to be real. If I went and watched everybody's videos, you know what I'd have? I'd have a head full of crap. And I would be swimming through everybody else's ideas rather than looking at what it is that I am looking at. Now, I have some law enforcement in my background. Some. I was military police, took 2 years of investigation. I have some fucking criminal background there, as far as like law enforcement. I know what to ask. I know the reasons why my mind would ask that. And I know what to look into. There you go. Now, am I law enforcement? No. Would I want to be? No, I would not. I don't like law enforcement. I'm too proud. I'm an American, got my rights and shit. Don't walk around like the average clown wearing a fucking mask and stuff. Ain't like that. I don't care. I get a little bent over fucking being treated like an ignorant slave. I had a virologist have it, man. So yeah, I don't go to these other channels, and I don't give a rat's ass what they say. Whatever they say, they can keep it on their fucking channel. That sounds good to me, because the time is approaching. And you know what? There's going to be two sides when this comes out. Two. There's going to be my channel that fucking told you, and I will say it just like that. Then there will be these other channels. And then those other channels will have to double switch curtsy bow to me, because I stood to the side of correctness on this. I stood to the side as I knew it to be. And I want to maintain that I knew it to be, because I only know as much as what somebody else could know. You know, I can't know anything above what somebody else could know. There's people out there that know far more than I on like the crime scene as a prime example. I don't know anything about the crime scene, nor do I need to know anything about the crime scene. I know enough because they have said that it was brutal. You can speculate off of that, a brutal crime scene. And that's all I would really need to know, is that, okay, it was a brutal crime scene. Okay. So that's what you start looking into. And again, I was not out there looking for a person of interest. When Thomas Jerome Bruce came along, I wasn't out there like demanding that there be a person of interest. I wasn't out there randomly picking two people trying to find one that looked like this guy, because I already knew local law enforcement, all surrounding counties, including the one I'm in, Howard County, were investigating it. The state of Indiana was investigating it. The FBI was investigating it and had done CSI, was using their forensics. So I knew that the people that was very on top of the game were already looked through all that. I was not going to beat them to it, nor was I out to reward money. I wasn't trying to pull up a person of interest. It was handed to me. Here you go. Look into TJB. St. Louis says was dressed like Bridge Guy when committing the Catholic supply store sexual assault and homicide. He looks like your sketch, they added. The man had never committed a crime before, had no DNA or fingerprints in the database until we arrested him, they say to Carroll County. Here's his photos. You might want to use those two people that saw him that day. See if you can verify that he is one of the same that you're looking for. And I will add to you, they said, and I will kind of quote here a little bit, his fingerprints came back as the unknowns that you had in there looking for a match. That's what tipped us off that he may be your suspect. That's what I believe took place during that phone conversation. That's what I think went down. I mean, does anybody want to disagree? Is there anybody out there that wants to disagree with me that those things happened? If you do, throw it up over here, because I can go pull up the fucking article and show you exactly where they fucking got a hold of Carroll County and Delphi and told them that. Not the fingerprints part. That wasn't given to the media. Had they put that in the media, everybody and their brother would know that he had did it. Okay? But the rest, they did say to Carroll County. That's why they reached him immediately after his fingerprints went through. Carroll County, hey, man, we might have your guy down here, pal. People don't look into this shit. They don't. They hear me say it and they go, well, maybe it's true. He says he don't lie. I mean, I don't know. He's got that long hair, though. You know, you can't really trust a long-haired person. They're pretty fucking rebellious. I don't know what people think when I say shit. Maybe it's a 50-50 gap. You know, maybe half people say, well, he might be right. The other 50-50 is like, well, I don't know, man. I was at GH's channel. Man, he really had some good stuff. I was at OS's channel, man, and they was talking about GK. That looked pretty real to me, man. Set that up, jail to jail interview. Yeah, it looked pretty Pretty damn good, man. Real good. Yeah. Enough to sell me on it, I'll tell you that, man. I think GK did do it. Yeah. National Enquirer people. Simple followers, man. People that listen to bullshit and believe it until somebody can say, well, your bullshit ain't right. How do you know? Let me Google it. Google, is my shit right or not? Google says I am, though. See? I use Google, man, so I'm like really smart and shit. I used to listen to Pink Floyd. Pretty smart guy. Or woman. I'm not being sexist. Maybe you're a smart woman. Now, man, I got all these pie charts out here. I got a bunch of pie charts. See, I got a 75% one because I thought that might fall into play. I thought that something might equate to 75% or 25, case depending. Again, when I see these other channels, man, that red right there, well, like 99%. Now, that 1% of the time, I'm not. It don't bother me because they might use a fact or a circumstance or a piece of evidence that might really relate to this case. Then they just go way out here with it, all the way around here. That's what they do. That's how they operate. Not real happy. But then again, you know what? I have nobody on standby here. Nobody's sitting here at standby. I miss that. I do. Thankfully, man, I got you guys. So bear with me because, again, man, you know what? All right, let's use it, man. Let's go that route. I'm 75% certain that the people that view my channel are not idiots. I don't think all of you are my age exactly, but I don't think that you're idiots. I don't think that you're one of those Google people out there, man, that have their phone and think they can answer any question with Google. That's called just being a millennial slippage, of what's real, what's really fact-checking, what's really looking into something, and what's just taking the Google shortcut. There was no Google in my day because I hate Google. Google gives me my Gmail. That's what it does. I don't really go Google many things. Well, I do maps. On maps, man, I really use Google there, man, because I can go in there and kind of pull things up and put it in a perspective of time and place, the area, where the cops, man, where's the out, you can really use maps to kind of look at a scene. Now, when I say that, and, I go right back, what's the word I usually call him, man? We'll just call him the Katt. I don't even think that worked. Oh, well, screw it. He was to the side of, no, somebody definitely could have went in there, abducted them, and then brought them back at night at the cemetery. Really? Man. Holy mother of shit. Really? That's fucking impossible. There was not one 10-minute span that night when there was not a vehicle going around that mile perimeter looking for those girls to come out. All neighbors were awake and on guard and looking at all traffic going through. Nobody. No one, not a living soul, could have went in there, parked at that cemetery, and took those girls back down there. And to believe otherwise is just being stupid. It is being someone who is involved with the National Enquirer, believing any goddamn thing, as long as somebody says it in a correct way. I'll believe it. I believe it. I do. I certainly believe it. I wouldn't call them wrong. Well, I would because I've fucking been there. I knew goddamn well, man, that the sheriff's department was circling that all night. I know damn well every neighbor had been spoken to. I know well every neighbor all the way around that square mile knew about it. I knew that nobody could go in and get back out that night. No one. Nobody. Impossible. But people will believe it if they hear it enough. They will. And then they'll give it to me like it's a reality when I'm like, who in the fuck are you listening to? I mean, in your normal day-to-day life, are you that fucking stupid? Well, I don't think that they made it that far, Freckled Joy. Because again, and it goes back to things that I've done related here. Now, this is going back on my channel. But I kind of related to the fact that if you take the northern route, going east, down Deer Creek, over toward Ronald Logan's property, okay, right there where the cemetery is, right there on County Road 300, you got that big cemetery area. And right there on this side going toward Deer Creek, you got that big hill that goes down. Okay. Now, right there in that big hill, there's a big ravine that goes down right there at the cemetery. Then it comes back up the other side. Now, if you were searching those properties, okay, because after you search the trails, which would not have took long, if I had six people searching, we could have started at Freedom Bridge and walked that entire trail system all the way down to Monon Bridge in about 20 minutes and said, they are not here at this trail. They are not here. They are not at this trail system right now. They are not. Because that's how long it would take to search that. Now, from my understanding, there was hundreds. That's what's quoted. Hundreds of people searching. From 5 to midnight? Now, they had to ask permission of the people that own private property in and around the trail to search on their property. Now, they asked Ronald Logan, okay, if they could search on his property. And he said, yes, you can search on my property. Now, when they was walking down that way on the northern shore, okay, and they're walking around on that property and they hit that big ravine right there where the cemetery is that goes right across to the other side to Ronald Logan's horse pasture. They said the girls wouldn't have went this way. They wouldn't have went down and across that ravine. That would not make any sense to us at all. Like, they wouldn't have went this route because they were supposed to be at the trails hiking. They would not have went this way. And that's why they picked it up there the following morning on the other side of that ravine. Now, to say, how could they have missed it? They didn't walk over the top of them, people. And again, this is things that people are mishearing. They're miscommunicating in their mind as to what took place. People were not right there walking over the top of these girls. It was hard to get down there to the girls, and they knew that the girls would most likely, and we will put that at 99%, not have went that route. And the girls did not go that route. The girls were taken down from the southern side, walked down, and then crossed over to where they were found. Not taken through the northern side and around. So the girls didn't walk down there. They were taken across there. But nobody knew that. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. There's a lot of things, man, people have a miscommunicate on. They hear it. They believe it. They stand on it. They don't know why. They're researching a crime. That's what they believe. I'm researching a crime. No, you're listening to people's shit. That's what you're fucking doing. Stop. I'm begging you. Because time is short. The time is almost 9. Look at my invisible clock right there. Do you see that? See where it's got like 2 beats till 9? That's how close we are. It would be nice, man, to have people to my side. I can think of a couple people. I mean, even from the go, man, I'm kind of maintained to my side because they fact check. They look into things. They can tell what is correct and what is not correct. They know. Other people do not know. They have no clue. Now, I meet these people. I meet them. They talk to me. They call me. And sometimes it bothers me. It bothers me a lot because I think, wow, for the last pushing 4 years, this person's been lost. How do I help them? You can't. You can't just tell them things. They'll be like, because they've heard 4 years of shit. Man, you got to reach in there and pull all that shit out. You got to dismantle that shit and pull it out, basically shovel it out of their head and say, get rid of that fucking garbage, firstly, and listen to the fucking reality. Oh, that up there? I think it's a cherry pie. I think. It looked like a cherry pie. Oh, yeah, I knew incognito. No worries, man. Oh, you know what? I've always wanted a figgy pie. Never had a fig pie. Figs are good, though. I like figs. Figs are the bomb. So, well, you know what? St. Louis police said it was a Carhartt type style jacket. I can go pull up a picture of what they listed as what it looked like. Give me a second here. I got to open my Thomas Bruce file. And somewhere down here, right here. All right, let me share screen. All right, this is what they supposedly said. Now, this here says, where you see right here, but right here, now look, this right here says St. Louis County Police Department. Read that. St. Louis County Police Department. Good afternoon. As we continue to investigate the homicide and assault, here is a more detailed description of the suspect. The suspect is a white male, 5'7" to 5'9", this is before he was caught, ages 40 to 50 years of age. At the time of the incident, he was wearing a navy blue Carhartt style work jacket. That's what it says. Now down here, they got a Carhartt jacket. It says Carhartt right there, right there. Now you will note, man, on the video of Bridge Guy, there is no Carhartt tag there. That's why it is a Carhartt style work jacket. A plaid shirt, red, white, and blue in color, glasses, a brown belt with a red and blue square on the clasp or clip of the belt, and the hat described below, which is this kind right here, which looks kind of like a croc. I think that wait, was it a croc or was it a gator? I forget. Man, somebody sent me a really good thing on that. So like really good, man. She had the whole jacket and the hat and everything. Now, this is what they had sent, but there was more to it. This right here is only in photo. But okay. Man, I removed myself. Not cool. Okay. So they had, you know, he had on the same clothes as, you know, what occurred here in Delphi when committing the Catholic supply store sexual assault and homicide. Now, people ask, well, is that the clothes that he wears when he goes and does this? Well, maybe if he knows he's going to do it. Now, I think Delphi, he did know he was going to go do that. He knew a Monon High Bridge Trail. He had stopped there before. Probably a few times, man, en route between St. Louis and his family's house up in Michigan and Fort Wayne. He had taken the Hoosier Heartland. He had stopped there, used it like a rest area. You know, you get out, stretch your legs, take a hike, walk back, you know, get in your car and leave. He'd probably seen it as a safe place to go. Locals don't know him. It's traveled, the trail is, but not heavily. So if you take somebody, the survey says, was probably not going to be somebody right back behind him. You can abduct them off the trail and take them elsewhere on the trail, somewhere else to commit the crime. This was a guy that used opportunity as his means. Ann Pates, Mary Pryor, opportunity. Now when it comes to Evansdale, I don't really know. I mean, I can't say. Was he traveling somewhere and just so happened this event occurred on that day of Friday the 13th? Or was it a day, since he had lost a job prior to, was Evansdale, was that trail around Myers Lake the same as what Monon High Bridge Trail was? Was it an area where he could go that it's traveled, it's a small town, but it's not heavily traveled? Maybe you could get somebody to get in your vehicle and take them elsewhere to commit the crime. I don't know. You see, because I'm not a psychic. I'm not a mind reader. I don't know these things. Law enforcement may, having spoke to his family and friends and so forth, they may have a better lowdown on that, but that is not my cup of tea. I'm not going to reach friends and family. That ain't me. I'm not law enforcement, but I do know what law enforcement would look for, and that is what I dig for. That's what I found. 99%. That's what I found. That's what I'm giving to you. Just giving it all to you, man. Here you go. Open up. Yeah, you know what? And thank you, because I have not been looking over here at comments a great deal. And I apologize for that, because normally I am keeping an eye to them. But yeah, that was something that I did notice, like right away when they released the first photo of the guy. And now they said they got it from a trail cam, which is cool, because I realized why they said that. They didn't want him to understand that the girl had videotaped him. They didn't want him to know that. Said, well, just a picture of the guy. We just know he was in the area at that time. But so we wanted to talk to him and see if there was anything else maybe he saw, try to get the guy to turn himself in, believing that he was a local guy. Well, it didn't happen. So when I'm looking at that, being that it was a warm day, you can tell from the photo that while the guy isn't fat, that he was thick through the middle right here. And he had on a lot of clothes. He had on a hoodie and a jacket on a warm day. Being overweight, it didn't make sense to me. It really didn't. Why would the guy have all this clothes on him? Now, I can say that he had tools, likely. I'm sure that he had, in all likelihood, a handgun, a knife. I think that he may have had video equipment of some kind to capture the crime, to make it easier for him to relive at a later time. Things like that. I believe that he had a bottle of alcohol with him. I'm sure that he was under the influence of alcohol during the commission of the crime. So, I did. And I kind of seen that noteworthy to the degree that I wondered if he may not have camped there overnight, because of having that much clothes on him. Now, I'd also stated, well, he could have left his car when it was cooler out and it got warmer, which really could be the case. The law enforcement said that he got there probably in or just before 12 p.m. that day. So we know that he was there for at least 3 hours, from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Now, they said up to 5 p.m., but again, man, and I go back because I've been talking to somebody that's in my chat here quite often. And they had made the connection that it could be satellites, because, we get one to pass that takes a photo every 2 hours. And that while it was there at 3 p.m., it was not there at 5 p.m. So they said from 12, which it did occur at, till possibly 5 p.m. Again, I stand to the side that when he got back to his car after the commission of the crime, he drove out of here and he made for high water. He made straight back to St. Louis. So, yeah, I always did look at the clothes, but, and again, it's because we can't see that he's got things in his pockets. He probably did need a place to carry items, where they weren't in like eyesight of other people that would be hiking by him. He was probably trying to stay out of eyesight of most people. And yeah, anyway, I did find it kind of odd at the beginning that he was that overdressed when the girls weren't that dressed. And they were much smaller in comparison to him. Yeah. Well, and I agree. I really do. I mean, it would get warm if he was in a hoodie and a jacket over the top of that, and you're walking, you know, it would. But again, the trails aren't very long. I mean, it's not like it was. In fact, I would put it at close to a mile. It isn't a solid mile from the main parking area to Monon High Bridge, but it's about 15 minutes, which equates to about a mile, pretty close to a mile. And that would have been his walk, would have been to back there and then back. I don't really know exactly. I mean, people say clothes buried under the trailer, but I think that if you live in a trailer, and I mean, try to understand kind of this is the way I look at it. Let's say I got a wife and I have items that I don't want her to know of. Okay. Well, where am I going to put those items inside of my trailer house where she wouldn't find them? You see where I'm at? Well, if I'm keeping them secret of everything and everybody, I would want them stashed in an area where only I know that they're at. Now, the clothes he may have put under his trailer. He may have had a box containing other items from other crimes that was under his trailer. I did hear, and I forget where, that they searched under his trailer and found stuff. But that's as far as I can go with it, that they found something under his trailer. And I believe that it was a box. But I don't know what items were in that box. I wish I did, because it would probably shine a much better light on this. Now, I can probably say that the pistol that he used in the Catholic supply store is probably the same one that he gave threat with in Delphi, because that would probably be the pistol that he was most likely to carry with him at any time. So if it was possible to get the autopsy results of Jamie Schmidt to find out the caliber of pistol, then I can look back on his bankruptcy filings and say, this right here is the pistol that he used, and this is the one that he probably used in the commission of most of these. Now, I don't, you know, I mean, but that doesn't say when he bought that pistol or when he became in possession of that pistol. But probably over time, look, let me put it to you like this, man. Like, let's say I'm going to go out and I'm going to commit some heinous crime on somebody, and I'm going to carry a pistol with me. Survey says I'm probably not going to be pulling out some giant 44 Magnum, like arm hand rifle, you know, something like that, because it's just huge. You know, you want something that's very, you know, that you can't really like just see. Like, say as an example, he had a small caliber pistol holstered right here. Well, he's got a jacket and a hoodie. You can just pull right over that. Man, he can stand there and talk to you all day. You'll never know he's got a pistol on his side if it's a small caliber pistol. You see where I'm at? Because he's trying to be very discreet about that. Now, he only ran into that lady because she was walking her dogs. Now, everybody's to the side of, well, why didn't he attack the lady walking her dogs? Well, she lived in that house right there that he's looking at. He knows that she's got two dogs with him that, you know, he don't know what those dogs are going to go do. But if somebody sees those dogs out running without her, they're going to say, hey, well, where's she at? We better go look for her. And he did not want his crime interfered with. That's why he would. I mean, you know, why would he go, you know, attack her? Everybody would have been on top of that within like 15 minutes. They would have been like, well, hey, how's come so-and-so ain't back? Dogs are out in the yard, man. We better go look around. You know, he didn't want that. So he had a 22 caliber pistol. Now he had a Sig Sauer and a man. Hang on, I mean, I need to go. I need to go read those again. You know, a Glock 43. So, you know, it's not that any of them couldn't have been used. I think that he was going for the more stealthy and hideable, you know, just where a person couldn't see it. Now, when you see him walking across that bridge right there, at step and a half, it's got that little brown thing right there on the right-hand side. I believe that to be the leather holster. And that's exactly what I think it is. I don't know that it is, but I can certainly look at that and guesstimate, because you're not going to walk up to two girls and put them into an intimidation with, like, saying, well, do this because I have a pistol and I'll pull it out and show it to you if you don't. You know, a person's only going to believe you up to a certain degree. But if you pull a pistol out and say, do as I say and I won't kill you, then you have a hold on them. Then they're going to, like, listen, okay, look, we want to go home. We want to go home, and we will do what you say. Tell us what we got to do here so that we can go and we can leave and we can all go home and be happy. I think he had a pistol. But I think that in most of these, he did have a pistol. He was, I mean, I can't say he was a big man. I mean, because he wasn't a big man. I mean, he had a little bit of weight around his belly. It looked like a beer belly, so to speak. He would have been, what, 50? Wow, that would have been about like 50, 51 at the time of the crime. What do I think? Oh, right on, Candy. That's very interesting. Well, I thank you. Been a little potty mouth tonight. I tried not to let that relate. I really shouldn't be. Sometimes, though. Sometimes, Candy. It happens. Let me tell you. And when it does, like that, 99%. Man. Maybe. You know, I got a friend that lives out here. He got a hold of me last night. He called. He says, hey, why don't we go out and shoot some 9mm? You know, I got mine, man. You know, I'm like, yeah, all right. Okay. So I got mine. We walked down there. And he's all asked me, he's like, how many you got in the clip? I have full clip. How many? Well, like 18. 18? That's normal size for a 9mm. 12? Probably got 12 in it. You don't know? No. I said, look, man, I got a Taurus G23. I mean, you know, and there it is. I mean, look, man, in the Army, man, I can take apart the 45, put back together. Okay, no big deal. But people, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm so adept at shooting, you know, with like sighting and so on, really good. But everybody thinks like I'm some kind of a pistol maniac. I'm really not. I don't care. As long as it fires, man, in the way that it's supposed to, that's what I give a shit about. You know, I mean, it's like a Glock size. Well, maybe it is a Glock size. Unless Glock comes in different sizes. I don't know. You know, I really don't. And I mean, I kind of feel stupid in saying that because it's just something that I never concerned myself with. I don't know how many is in that clip. Man, I didn't even load it and count them. Has however many a normal 9mm clip for a G23 will have, you know, something like that. Yeah, you know what, Todd? I have kind of, I've kind of discussed that, but when I look at that one picture, when you can see like right there on the right-hand side, It looks like various things, man, because some people thought it was like a pistol. But when you look at the outline of that pistol, you'd be like, my God, man. I mean, that would be a big ass pistol if he just had it shoved in his coat. But why would he do that? I mean, he's got 3 pistols and an AR-15 Bushmaster. Why would he just carry it in a jacket pocket and not have a fucking holster? You see where I'm at? It seemed more likely that if you was carrying a pistol that you would have it in a holster where you could cover it with, you know, and I'm doing this with my shirt here, where you could just cover that up because somebody was walking up to you, man. You got your coat over it. They'll never know you have it. They will never say, I seen a man there and he had a pistol right there on his side, because he wasn't going to have a big giant pistol hanging out there for the world to see, you know. But that's the way I would look at it, because nobody's going to go commit a crime like that and leave everything out there for everyone to see and just be, hey, Trey, how you doing? Come here, man, let's talk. They're not going to do that. They're going to stay out of range of people, out of people's eyesight. Hey, somebody's coming this way. I'm going to go over here and look like, you know. But you don't just go confront them where they can see an accurate description of your face right here. And now one person did, the lady walking her dogs. I can say that. I know she got a good, accurate, detailed information because she spoke to him, as said by law enforcement, for about a couple of minutes. She had just sat there, hey, how you doing? Oh, just walking my dogs. Yeah, beautiful day, isn't it? Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, man, you're beautiful. Looking forward to spring. You know, that kind of thing. Because, and man, I should have pulled that up, and I really should have been a little bit more on this. I went out there with the guy. He was out here from California. He may be here now for all I know. And when we was leaving the trails and we was walking back toward Freedom Bridge, 2 older people walked in. They were older than us. And, you know, he's, I think, a couple years older than I am. So we're walking out and they walk by us. We're, hey, how you doing? Pretty good. Yeah, just out hiking. You know, we keep going. 2 minutes later, after they walk by us, I ask him, 2 days from now, what details could you give me concerning those 2 and what they look like? He's like, older guy and his wife. That's probably it. Now, that was Johnny on the spot. That was after 2 minutes. Now, I'm going to ask, flannel shirt guy walked by him as he was leaving. Flannel shirt guy was walking this way, and probably the same thing was said. Hey, how you doing? Pretty good. You? All right. On about your way. 2 days later, man, I mean, like, flannel shirt guy is going to be like, I seen a guy, and he was dressed like this guy here. What he looked like? Well, man, yeah, I think he might have had some facial hair here. He had a hat. It was kind of like this hat, but it was kind of a, you know, because they wasn't quite clear on what style of hat it was. You know, in fact, even St. Louis didn't say the exact style of hat that he had on. But it was the same identical hat as what he wore in Delphi. Now go look at the second sketch. For anybody who fact checked, they should know exactly what the second sketch looks like. It's a guy standing there with a full head of hair with no hat on. That's how generic that second sketch is. Nobody saw that suspect that day without a hat on his head. They have no idea what the top of his head looks like. None. Zero. Law enforcement was giving you a generic sketch. That's what that amounted to. That whole Delphi briefing, it was bullshit. At 99%. Total bullshit. Now, they gave us the video that me and Greeno had asked for since the beginning of this. They gave us that. Oddly enough, though, taken right off of her phone, the video was no clearer than the pixelated images we had. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? I bet I could go get an identical phone to the one that girl carried that day, and at the exact same distance, I could videotape anybody in this entire world walking toward me. And you know what? Somebody that knows that person is going to be like, oh, you know what? I can't believe that so-and-so was down there that day. Wow, remarkable. You've seen him. Huh. because that phone isn't like a toy video, okay? It's real video, pretty crisp, pretty clear. Do I think that they purposely pixelated it because they already knew who it was at that time? Hold on 1 second. You bet your ass I do. Absolutely do. Because they knew who it was, and they didn't want you and I to know who it was. Okay? They're the ones that's solving this crime. It isn't me. I didn't solve this crime. I didn't solve it. I did what I knew to do. An investigation. When you investigate, you look into every avenue. You don't leave parts out that like don't conform to what it is you're saying. You don't do that. If you find something that does not fit what you're saying, you go, well, you know what? Kind of got some bad news here to tell you. I mean, people that watch my channel, I found news that does not fit what I'm saying at all. And I would have done that. If I found anything that was out of the way that did not fit Thomas Jerome Bruce, born in Genesee County, Michigan, back in October of 1965, I would have said so. I would have said, bah, you know what? This don't fit. People say, well, you can't put him in Delphi. Yeah, I can. I got video of it. I got video and audio. It's him saying it. That's him walking. That's him. Thomas Jerome Bruce. Went right there to the trail on the reverse date of Evansdale. Don't forget the reversible dates. You got 7/13/12 Evansdale. Turn it around. You get 2/13/17 Delphi. Both trails right off of the highway. Both trails, small town. Both trails traveled, but not heavily. At both trails, 2 girls abducted. Both trails, 2 girls died. 2 girls, both, in both cases, found by a creek. Identical MO. Identical. On a reversible date. Let's think about the statistics when we look at that. What are the statistics? Would the survey say 90%? It happens at 90% of all double murders like that? No. No, not even close. Maybe it happens at like 50% of them. Not even in the area code of. If I was to break it down and say it happened in 99% of all cases, I'd be a liar. Actually, if I took the reverse and I said, you know what? It happens in 1% of every double abduction, I'd still be way off. It's less than 1% by a long shot. By a very, very, very long shot. Like probably 0.003% of all would those things maybe occur. On a reversible date, hold on. No. Okay, Justin, you know what? I wasn't cool with your ass right off the go. And I know exactly who that person is. I know exactly who they were. They were trying to prove me fucking wrong. Now, I'll tell you this right now. If she had looked me right in the fucking eyeball and said that, I would have said, look, man, don't give me that fucking FBI. Tell people this shit bullshit because I can fucking look into shit better than that. Now, I don't give a shit what she said. Up to 99%, I don't give a shit. Because I know what the FBI went down and talked to her about. I know why the FBI was down there right after his arrest, after they had placed his fingerprints in Delphi. I know why they went and got his DNA. I know why they took that down offline. I know why I do all those damn things. So again, Justin, and we'll leave it at that. Thank you. Weren't cool with me. Dude, do you want to leave? If you want to leave, man, just maintain your pace, pal. I got a finger that, man, I ain't booted anybody probably in a couple weeks. I'd be happy to if you just want to keep going. Shit, man, just give me reason. Hey. Oh, okay. Truth and justice, man. You know what? I'm all the time at your channel. I want you to know that. Like, not every time, but pretty close every time that you're live. But I just don't, I usually like and share and will view, but I don't really say anything because, I mean, when you do, you got to answer everybody. I mean, that is being polite. And, you have to say hello to everybody. So I appreciate you being here and modding, quite a bit. You, Incog, Sue, I mean, all you guys, man, every one of you, man. In fact, you can go to my Facebook and see I post every one of your lives where I'm there. Just repost them back out, man. I share them out to the world because sharing is a very big thing to me. It means a lot. No, not the little blue bar, man. I'm talking about the 99%. It means quite a bit because that sharing gets people, it gets it out there where others can come and they can hear the truth of pie. Man, I knew I'd do that shit. I knew it, man. They hear the truth about pie right here. They hear all about pie. So, anyways, where was I going with this? There was other things that I needed to say, and I forgot what they were. Man, I made notes, and then I kind of forgot them a little bit, at least in part, some of them. This is what I should do. This is how I should kill the next few months. I should play a person, and that's how I will name myself, a person. I'm a person that looks into crime. And I will go out and I will make a case, literally try to make a case on Flannel Shirt Guy, on it being Ronald Logan, to show you guys how stupid it looks when people bring this shit up. When people bring that shit up, man, the first thing that hits me is these people don't know a damn thing. They probably don't even live in the fucking area code, have never been there. They don't know these people, and they probably just got off of Reddit thinking that they know shit. That's how I feel. It's exactly how I feel when I see these. That's how I feel. And man, I mean, I've always been happy that I lived. I mean, how do I phrase that and be correct? I was always happy that I live alone, but I was always happy because I had my dog. I always had my friend right here with me at all times. And I don't have that anymore. I don't have my friend. My friend is no longer here. So now when I sit around alone, I am literally alone. And I now see that I am alone. Well, I now see it because I am. I wasn't beforehand. I mean, you know what? I could have went out and went around the world, man, with just me and my dog and been very happy about that because I don't know how to put that. It's not that I'm antisocial. I mean, I can be very social with people as long as I can relate to that person. I don't need to go deep into things to relate to somebody, but I got to have an understanding that this person, when they want an answer, will stop at nothing to get that. That is me. That is how I operate. When I am looking into something, I want those answers because if those answers cannot be obtained, then that is something that I cannot check off my list as properly knowing. Now, when I say knowing, I don't mean it as I Googled it. Google, I don't mean that. I mean, I went and looked it up. I went and took measurements. I went and did this. I had the personal guarantee down to the partial inch that is this fucking long, like the bridge or, because people, I don't know, man, they hear something and they hear it a few times and then they stand to the fact that it's correct. People stop doing that. Look, man, we have masters. I don't know whether I don't think most anybody understands that. They don't know that we have masters. We didn't once, but we do now. Today we do. We have masters. They tell us what to do. They mandate masks. We go wear a mask. Well, dude, I have to. I got a job. Yeah, they knew you'd say that. They knew you'd say that. Dude, I have to. I have kids. They knew you'd say that. They know you'll go along with anything they fucking say, including a fake fucking like a plague. They know that. But people just capitulate, man. People go with the program. People don't care. People think everything's fine, everything's hunky-dory. We live in a free country and all kinds of other bullshit. People are stupid. I'd like to change people from that. I could look upon my life as one of having done, if I could reach out there, say, hey, come here a minute. Come here. Come here. Got something I want to tell you. I've been noticing that you've been going around saying you're researching this crime. Let me kind of give you the lowdown. Let me tell you what I'm looking at and why. You know what? If I sit down with somebody like that, and I started at day 1 and started working through it, by the time I got to day 60, they would have been like, could you hurry up with this? I got things I'd rather be doing. That's how people research. They just want something told to them. This is real. Law enforcement said so. Then it must be real. That's how people think. Oh. 90% of most people think in that manner. 90% do. Guarantee you. Because, in fact, I would go beyond that. I really would. I'd say 99% of most people think like that. 75% of people give a shit about facts and evidence, but they're 80% willing. Hang on. There we go. But they're 80% willing to believe total bullshit if it's packaged correctly. They'll buy it. They'll take money and go buy bullshit if it sounds good and proper. But they will not fact check. They don't know what fact check means, man. They think they just get on Google. Google, is that true? Is that true, Google? It's people's fact checking in this world. It bothers me a lot. You see on my old channel, Michael Stroop. You know my real name? It's not even Michael Katt. I had to change it. Katt's like a, I don't know, I've had that nickname for like 20 years. Online name. Actually, man, let me just tell you about that real quick. People like to hear me talk, so here I am speaking. I go back to the year 2000. I had a website. It was a secret website. Okay? It was one my family didn't know about. Well, I'll just tell you what it was. It was Global Ganja. I had a marijuana website. And a friend of mine, when I asked him about it, I said, could you set me up a website like this one? Well, yeah, I could do that. He said, in fact, I could go better than that and put it in a different format that would far exceed that. Okay, well, show me what you could do. So he goes in and he gets this whole layout and this format, and he puts it all together and he throws it all together. And I'm like, dude, that rocks. I like that. So I had settled on the name Global Ganja, bought the server, man, and threw it up online. Now, on my website, because I needed a ID name, and I'm like, I need an ID name. Well, I had just played the Caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland, so I says, I'll call myself Sir Beatnik Katt. Caterpillar. You see where I'm at? And then the people that I was meeting from online at the website was calling me Katt. And I'm like, why are you calling me Katt? From your name. I'm like, oh, okay. Kind of let that slide and then everybody started calling me Katt, and it just become My nickname. You don't pick your own nickname. I mean, you know, if I could pick my own nickname, I would have been Dog. Like Michael Dog, man. The dog. But Katt, man, people confuse that with kitty cat. Not fact. It's caterpillar. Well, thank you, Justin. I do appreciate that. But understand, man, this is my thing on that. When somebody is asking something that clearly does not stand within this case, I got to wonder where exactly their heart stands. And, you know, I mean, like, okay, are they just confused? Have they been watching other stuff? I mean, are they filled with somebody else's, you know, information? Or are they a troll? You know, are they just trying to get the better of me? Are they just trying to bring up stupid comments to be a dick? I don't know. I don't know everybody like that. You know, I wish I did, man, and I would probably still avoid most people, you know, if I did know that. And I'm not really a hothead. I'm really not. I mean, if you was to go ask all of my friends, Michael, you know, let's call me Michael for a minute. Everybody calls me Katt. Well, let's change that back and we'll just say Katt. Katt, man, that dude sure is a hothead, isn't he? No. Why do you say that? You know, why? No, it's only about this crime. For the most part, it's about this crime. And that's why I get to be a hothead. Because people do not see the truth through the bullshit. Look, man, there's 80% bullshit out there, and you hang on. Ah, man, I was hoping I could just pull that right back on, but it's just on my green screen. 80% of people out there, man, they want fact. They want what's real. But 80% of those same people are going to believe the bullshit. They're always going to believe the bullshit. The bullshit's packaged well. It's produced nicely. It's edited just so you like to see it. You like to feel that you learn something when you're done watching it. And you think, now I really know something about it. Whereas before I was dumb, now I see. And even at the end of that, you still don't know shit. There's a lot of that going on. And again, I mean, there are various channels that I will watch on crime. Incognito is one. I mean, I really enjoy her channel. I mean, she covers really good cases. She's got good special guests. She's really good with her shows. She does very well. A True Crime Garage I will watch, but for the most part, I really don't watch crime videos. Hang on. Let me grab something real quick. A couple of things, actually, in all honesty. These are my go-tos on such. These aren't exactly criminal case books, like How to Think Like Sherlock Holmes. Does it tell you how to think like Sherlock Holmes? Well, if a person did not think like Sherlock Holmes, they would get very little out of it. It's just me. It doesn't tell you how to think like Sherlock Holmes. It covers the basics of how a person like the fictional Sherlock Holmes would think, given what it is that they see. Body language, how to spot the lie, spy the lie, cracking cases, Henry Lee's Crime Scene Handbook. Those are books right there that kind of give you information that you need. Information that kind of lead you on the trail of what it is you need after learning this much. And that is how a person learns things. By reading, by investigating, by knowing the questions, by knowing the answers, by knowing the questions that follow the answers. That's how a person gets to the bottom of shit. Yeah, you know what? That really is. And I bought a friend of mine, and it was by Jose Navarro. I bought him a book for Christmas, and it was called, oh man, hang on. Shit. Somebody help me out. Oh man, I almost had it. It's something about how to spot the tell or something like that. It's spot like when they're sitting there playing, as to the body language of the person you're playing against can tell you a lot about what it is that they're holding. You know, not the exact hand, but it can tell you how good of a hand that they have. And I thought that was a really good book. I thought that was a great book. This guy's a poker player, man. He considers himself to be a very great poker player. Has yet to read it. You know? No, I think it was Jose Navarro. Let me see. Oh, Joe Navarro. Oh man, I got a bunch on my computer. Let me go pull those up here real quick. Way up here. Nope, too far. Books. I got books on chess, criminology, CSI, deduction books, detection, interrogation, mindfulness, profiling, reading people, science, sovereignty. Here's kind of just like my books, see, like right here in criminology. It's one, fundamentals of criminology. Deduction books. See, that one's fully read. Mastermind, how to think like Sherlock Holmes. Interrogation, effective. Profiling, criminal profiling, criminal behavior, geographic profiling, criminal psychology. When you start reading books like that, I always removed the wrong one. It kind of gives you a avenues. You can kind of see things in what people say. It's like law enforcement. When law enforcement says something, I know by the way that they answer, not what it is that they say, but the manner in which they say it as to why they're not giving me the question that I want. You can tell by where they stop, where they stammer, where they want to say something, but they think, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. You know, you can see and you can guide through what it is that they're thinking when they reply. Now, I like that. I like the fact that I can do that, but I've always had that in me. I mean, that is something, it could be taught. And I'm not saying that a person could not learn that or there would not be books on that. But at the same time, there are things that people are born with. And I'm not calling myself a great artist. I'm not calling myself a genius. I'm not doing that. But what I'm saying is that just like a very close friend of mine, he was one of my closest friends in high school. He was his entire family. He came from a family of 9 boys. And every single one of them was like an artist with a pencil. You give him a pencil, man, I mean, you know, beautiful. And this one, he was the best in the family. The guy was just a class A artist, you know, very good at it. Me, I can't draw a stick figure. You know, I mean, I can't. I am not an artist. I can play guitar, but I cannot compose. I am not a musical genius. You know, there are things that each person is born with, that each person, like when you know, through their life, a person can be a mathematical genius. A person can be like any level of genius, but it's genetic. in the way that we're doing. I mean, when I go back to my childhood, I was thinking in a similar way as that I do now. I mean, in the way that when I seen a problem, I would look at the problem and then have the questions that develop with that problem, like this, and this is true. So this right here, that is the way that my mind thinks. And everybody thinks, well, my mind works like that. Well, everybody's mind does work like that, or we'd be positively stupid. But there are just areas and avenues that my mind thinks in a certain way, whereas many other people overlook those avenues and just take it upon themselves to say, well, I saw it on the news, so I know it's real. Well, I know that that's real because I seen so-and-so speaking about it on the news, and they said, okay, fair enough. But that's other people. That is not me. 60-40%. Do you know what that means? Well, it means like 3/5 of the people, 60 to 40%. 3/5 of the people. 3 more to 74. Oh no, it's only 1 more. Come on, man. We just need 1 more person. Like 74. Come on, man. Yeah, yes, I did. In fact, there isn't too much in the way of serial killers that I haven't looked at. And somebody was on here, and that's going back some time ago, probably a month or so ago. No, wait. No, I know. No, that was on Incognito's channel. And I'm sorry that I can't remember exactly who it was, but they were speaking of that they had wrote like a lot of true life crime books over their time. And oddly enough, they started off with the same one that got my attention when I was very, very little, and that was Helter Skelter. I watched the made for a television movie, which was 2 days long. In fact, I think that the whole movie was about 3 hours, but it covered the book extensively. And I mean, I was 8 when I saw it, mind you. Okay. So, you have to look at this through an 8-year-old's mind when watching Helter Skelter. My thought was, wow, that's crazy being 8 years old. People out in California there must be some really nutty people out there. But as I can say here now and attest to, that Susan Atkins sure the hell was hot. I mean, yeah, Squiggy Fromm and stuff. Man, damn. I don't know. If I was Charles Manson, I would have played that in a totally different way. Just totally different. Like in a big way. You know what? I agree to a degree. I really do. I really do agree. Vincent Bugliosi was a criminal prosecutor. I think he was the assistant criminal prosecutor in LA County. And a lot of what he was saying, it was as I was dictating earlier. It was a little bit of fact mixed with a lot of misinformation to really build a story. Now, Charles Manson didn't get an appeal. And you would think, well, he was sentenced to die. Why wouldn't he get an appeal? They wasn't having that. Look, man, he was the guy that ended the heyday of the hippies. You see where I'm at? That was his job, man. You're going to have this place down there at Spawn Ranch, get everybody on acid, go commit these murders. Whoa. And then we're going to hit you with it, make you look like the madman, and you can go right back to prison where you wanted to be. Fair? Sound good? Great. That's how it kind of runs. Because I've never watched a interview with Charles Manson where he wasn't at least speaking the truth for the most part. I find him to be very logical without the education. He seems quite adept at saying things the way that they really are. And it always kind of twisted me a little bit how the media information always spun him as being crazy, like Charles Manson. This is how you hear it all the time. Crazy, man, like Charles Manson crazy. because that's the way people got to spin this to make any reality of this story helter skelter. And again, I mean, you know, I go helter skelter, and you follow that. I think one that fell in right after that was the Atlanta child killings. Oh God, man, I always fuck up his name. Something Wayne or Wayne. You guys probably know who I'm talking about. And even with him, I think that there is some doubt that, you know, he was the real killer of all those people. But then again, I never wrote to him, never spoke to the guy, or really looked that heavily into it after the fact. But most of the big name crimes, I mean, O.J. Simpson, Ramsey, hang on, because I'm missing like a bunch in that, because I did, and I sat down somewhere on this computer. I have a list of a lot of them that I've looked into, and it was, you know, a lot of true life crime, you know, that was unsolved in many cases. And even the ones like Ted Bundy, where it was solved, then you look back and you think, well, how did they get by with this? You know, how did they lead everybody on? And, you know, where that they wasn't really looked at with suspicion. Ed Kemper's another. BTK, John Wayne Gacy, Gary Ridgway. And again, I mean, like when I'm talking about these other channels that kind of lead people by bullshit, look at John Kelly Profiler. Look at that guy, man. This guy's like some world-renowned criminal profiler. I'm sitting here giving him the goods, telling him, look at this. This will change your mind. And I do believe that it did. I do believe fully that he did. He says, well, I don't have time to look at it this weekend, but if you send it to my Facebook, it's on there on John Kelly, you know, then I will look it over. And he got back a hold of me that Monday or Tuesday and said, hey, I looked over what you sent to me, and I was quite pleased by it. Is it okay if I give this to my team so that they can look at it too? Knock yourself out, I said. Remember where it came from. Because, yeah, Wayne Williams, thank you. Thank you very much, Kim. Right on. You know what? This show is dedicated to Kim Williams. Or, I mean, you know, on the trail, Kim, for the Wayne Williams. Exactly. Precisely. And, I mean, I've looked into a lot of them, but the thing is it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's the way in which a person thinks. If I was, say when I was in the military police, when I got out, if I had said, you know what, I'm going to stay in the service, and then I'm going to go out and get a job as deputy at the sheriff's department, I could have went that route. Could have been law enforcement. Did not want to be. I seen Kemper crazy evil. You see, now I disagree. I disagree, Kim. I do. I really, really do. Now, I'm not saying that the guy was a saint. I ain't getting to that, but I do think that there was remorse. I think that at the end of the day, he was very remorseful over what he had done, because he knew that what he had done was wrong. And I mean, when it came right down to it, he said, my mom's got to die or other girls like this will continue to die. And he went and did that, turned himself in and said, I'm the co-ed killer and please come and get me. And he sits in a mental hospital in California to this day since the very, very early 1970s. So I don't know. I mean, like crazy evil, yes, in the fact that he did that. But crazy evil in the fact that he turned himself in and wanted it to end because he did not want any more people to die at his hands. It kind of shines a different light to it. I wouldn't invite him to my child's birthday party, but at the same time, you know, I do think that there is a fact there that he at least was remorseful. He came out of the cold, is what he said. You know, he got out of the cold. He said others prefer to stay there and continue on. I didn't want it. I didn't want any more to die. So, well, he did though, Candy. He did kill the one man, and I think that even he said that he did that. But I don't think that he was convicted on killing him, you know, but when he talks about the helter-skelter murders, he said, I didn't commit any of them. Well, he's telling the truth. He didn't commit any of them. But they hit him with the death penalty, even just for masterminding, I guess. I don't know. Didn't even give him an appeal. Yeah, Dennis Rader. Holy shit. Let me tell you, man, that's bothersome. You go watch The Confession of Dennis Rader. He's just standing there. As a matter of fact, well, Your Honor, that was a part of my fantasy. And what I did was I took the binding off and reattached it with the pantyhose, because that was what was in his mind as to what worked for him, as being a sadistic type serial killer like that. That's what worked in his head. So, there's all kinds. I mean, like if you look at Kemper said he liked to take the head off of the girl. He said there's that pop, after you cut and when it comes off and, it's detached. And I think he said, and I want to be, without being too graphic, well, he said that really got me off. So, I mean, there is that side of evil that's there, but there is that side there that did come out of the cold and wanted it to stop. But BTK, man, yeah, he was a bad dude. I mean, when it came down to it. Yeah, exactly. He really was. Ain't no denying. You know what? I forget what her name is. I know her last name is Dennehy, and she's got like a little star tattooed right here, and I think she's from England and stuff. She was like a serial killer. Man, I don't know. But look, let me tell you something. Serious fact. If I was to go through, because I have a file, and that file is called The Hottest Women of All Time, 50% of them are serial killers. Or played a serial killer. Or, was possessed by Satan in a movie. I don't know why. I don't know what that has over me. I really don't, man. It bothers me a little bit. It really does. Because when I look at that woman, man, I'm just like, hey, girl, how you doing, man? It's just, and I don't know why. I don't know. It bothers me. I had many discussions with Wolf concerning this. Man, this just ain't right, dude. I should not. Look, hey, I'm writing a letter to a woman in death row. Hi, hon. How are you? Write me back, man. Maybe we can hook up someday, maybe a conjugal. I get really weird like that. I don't know, man. I need to straighten my time and quit talking about like homicidal women. Oh, yeah, man. Well, Susan Denise Adkins, man. Lynette Squeaky Fromm. I mean, to name a couple, what's her name? Susan Smith. Man, I forget the one that's down. She's the only woman in Tennessee death thing there, and I mean, like, I'm like, wow, man, they make those women hot, don't they? Like, why on earth, man? It's never the good woman. Never see the good woman is all that hot. I don't know why, man. Jeez. But, maybe one day. It doesn't hurt to dream. Thank you. Yeah. I think Susan Atkins died of like brain cancer or something, man. It was like, well, she really got what was coming to her, huh? Well, sort of. I mean, she didn't like get sentenced to my house or nothing. Yeah, let's see. You know what? And that's probably very true. That's probably very, very true. In fact, I see a lot of girls, but it makes me question. I mean, because if I see a woman and I'm attracted to her, I'm like, dude, I may not wake up in the morning. I mean, like, believe me, because I realize that that's represented in my mind, that there is this attraction toward bad women like that. And I don't know why. I never did. I mean, when I was 8 years old, I thought Susan Atkins and Helter Skelter was just hot as shit. Like, yeah. This 8-year-old would, I'll tell you that. Wait, James Way? Oh, Jodi Arias. Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for bringing that one up. Hottest woman like ever. Jodi Arias. I have a file of just Jodi Arias. And it's just pictures, man. Just pictures. You know they have nudes of her? They do. I found them. Oh, yes. Squeaky Farm is very hot. Very, very hot. She sure was. Yep. Thank you. See? People got my back, man. People got my back here. They are hot. I'm not alone. No, I'm still alone. But yeah, Jodi Arias, come on, man. Now I go back, man, and that was, man, probably because I was looking over. Greeno wanted me to get all the video that I had of Wolf. He said, man, we'll make a tribute video. For Wolf. So I started going through and I was trying to find all the video that I had on him. And I realized that on my old computer, I had like quite a bit more than what I do on my new computer. So I'm looking back through there. And as I was like scanning through all these video files, man, I found like a whole bunch going back, man, that me and Greeno had made that was like on this computer that we had saved back onto the new computer. And one of them was letters to death row, because we was going to write to women that were on death row in different countries to get their take on it, like far after the fact of the crime, you know. And so we wanted to do that. And we started doing that, like literally. And then we stopped because I forget what the reason was on that, but people may remember because it was on my old channel. So I'm looking back on that, and I just remember that like every time we'd pull up one of these women, except for that one, the one mega serial killer woman, she wasn't that hot, but still doable. I don't know. I mean, just call it being me, but you know, I don't know. There's just that side. I don't know, man. I had a really good childhood. It's just me and my dog. Kind of an adopted brother. I mean, I called him Peppy. Never really introduced him as my brother, though. No, maybe beside the point. Anyways, okay, we're down to the finals. So, oh, if you would, that would be really super, Katie. Okay. I would enjoy that. I'll go down to where she is so she can like do it right in my ear. Oh, really? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Freckled Joy. You know what? That does make sense to me then. Maybe that is it. Maybe there is just that thing that I want a bad girl. But normally when you think of bad girl, you're just thinking a bad girl. You're not really thinking like you may not wake up, you know, that kind of thing. Again, so if anybody's got any questions, now's that time. Q&A on the Pi Day. And it's ain't even Pi Day. It's like the 18th. Better check this out. Yeah, it's 18th. Not even close to Pi. Man, we're like 8/18. Oh, yeah. Well, if you remember what it is, T&J, throw it up, man. Because I'm about answering some questions now. I'm done talking. But I'm willing to answer. No, I am not seeking therapy. In fact, the last time that I seen a psychologist was because of alcohol. And they sent me to the hospital to see a psychologist. And upon talking to the psychologist, after he asked me like, I don't know, 5 or 6 questions, he's like, "Are you just trying to be a smartass?" I said, "Hey, you're the one asking the fucking stupid questions. Leave." Bye. Left. Smarter than them. Know a little bit more than they do, maybe. So quit trying to get my mind, dude. Are you out there? You don't want it. You don't want it. But once you go in, there is no going back. Remember that. Spent private time watching like Exorcist 2, The Heretic and shit. You know what? Thank you, Kim, because hang on. There we go. Because I do believe that it is possible. And I say that for a few different reasons. One, sadistic serial killers at a norm like to leave things behind. They like to stage like the bodies. Is something that for whatever reason, and it's nothing that like us, I would well over 99% of us could actually understand, because we're not in that mind frame. There isn't a part of me that wants to kill anybody. I'm just not a person that on like, hurting or murder or violence. I'm just not really that person. I'm very easy to get along with. These people, just like Thomas Bruce, very easy to get along with. Stylist said, well, him and his wife were very helpful. They went out of their way to go help people. And that's why I find it very odd that he had committed the Catholic supply store sexual assault and homicide. Well, these people do play that side. They play that side very well because they have to, just like Ted Bundy. He played that good side very well. He said, other than what that dark side that I would slip into, that little bitty concealed spot that I would always go back to, other than that, I was very normal. People see me as very normal. And I think that there was an amount of staging. I think Robert Ives discussed the signatures. Now, some of the signatures, and I don't know if I'm phrasing this properly, because you can see the guy right there walking on her phone. But would that be considered a signature? Because while, yes, it was left behind, he didn't do it purposely. But if he's talking about signatures to the crime scene, then we would have to think staging. We would have to think something that lies outside maybe of this one that connects to a separate murder. So I do think that there could have been, although I do not know. I don't know anything about the crime scene as far as like anything like that goes. But I would suggest that there could probably be an amount of staging to the bodies to some degree. Just my thoughts. You know what? We got, because Greeno was up there at Sturgis. And that's going back a couple of years ago. And he got the WKT shirts and the YouTube shirts. You know what? One of my first girlfriends was like very big on Harley. And her and I went and seen, I think it was called Righteous Rulers at the movie theater. My God, man, I was like 16 then. It was like going back. But I was never really into the motorcycle crowd. I don't know. They just seemed so 38 special. And hey, let's get 3 kids and 2 fucking dogs. Woo! It's Indiana. Just like, yeah, you know what, man? We'll just go grab a couple of women and go back to my house and party for a little bit, like Alone was. Just more the way I operated back then. I actually do not. And that is something that a lot of people fall back on, is that the searchers touched the bodies. So now everything is contaminated, including the DNA. Well, that's not really positively the truth of it, because a lot of people, they had came in contact with that day. the people that, had done the laundry, people that they were in contact with. They sat in a car which other people had sat in, which had their touch DNA on the same thing that, was transferred onto them. A searcher walking up and checking to see if that person is still alive is not going to contaminate the full body and all the evidence. So I don't think that it was contaminated, but I think that people lean that away because they think, well, if they have DNA, then it can't be good DNA, because if it was good uncontaminated DNA, then they would know who did it already. Whereas I side to the fact that, just like Kim Riley told me, the man had never committed a crime before. Now, I go back on the OJ case. What was the guy's name? The LA detective guy. Furman, Mark Furman. When he was talking about Jamie, what's her name up there in Wisconsin, that was abducted, he said that the man, this is after the guy was caught, he said he had never committed a crime before. Now, I have this on video record. He said, so logically, there was no DNA nor fingerprints that could link him to it. Even if they had DNA and fingerprints, they would have no one to point to because that man had never been arrested. Now, Jamie Kloss, thank you very much, Katie. I don't know. I already did it. Yeah, it's just, okay, it's double dedication to Katie and Kim on the trail. So at the same time, now, when looking at Thomas Jerome Bruce, he had never been arrested, ever. People say, well, they would have took his fingerprints in the Navy. Very true, but he was never arrested in the Navy, so they would not appear in a legal database within the Navy. See where I'm at? Now, he knew this because he had killed Mary Pryor, raped her and murdered her, an 80-some-year-old woman up in Genesee County, Michigan, when he was living in Flint, which is the county seat of Genesee County. Now, Lennon, Michigan, the city where she was raped and killed at, is just about the size of Burlington. Now, if I went over to Burlington and I went to the town marshal there and I said, in the entire history of Burlington, which goes back to like 1830, well, let's put it at like 1830 as a prime example, how many people have been raped and murdered and it's unsolved? That's never happened here. Really? No, not one time ever. Huh. Well, that's really odd because it happened up in Lennon, Michigan, in the same size town as yours. I find it very odd that that never happened here. Oh, yeah, that just don't happen all the time, sir. A little bitty town, right? Yeah, it don't just happen. Well, in Mary Pryor's rape and murder, they had DNA right in the paper. You can go read it. If you fact check things, go look up Mary Pryor, Lennon, Michigan. Look at it. They have DNA and fingerprints right there. They have everything needed to find that guy if there was a match in the legal database. Now, being that there is no match in the legal database, knowledge would say that that man had never been arrested in his life. A brutal rape and murder. Now, he lived in Michigan at that time. You go 2 years after that. Ann Pates, little town, Montrose, Michigan, a little bit larger, 600 some people. Probably about 200 more people than live in Burlington. 13 miles up the road from Lennon. Same county, Genesee. She was raped and murdered. Her neck was sliced open. They had, in that crime, DNA and fingerprints, but no one to point to. Now, survey says you got two small towns, same county. In both, you have two brutal rapes and murders. In both, you have DNA and fingerprints. Yet, nobody can be pointed to because that person has never committed a crime before and got caught. You're looking at a very, very, very rare obstacle. Much bigger than 99%. You're looking at a very slender margin of people that could have done that. Now, again, I point to the fact that he was just out of the Navy. He was living in Flint. He was from the Montrose area at 2 a.m. when Ann Pates was murdered, when her car broke down on the side of Highway 58, when he was en route back to Flint, Michigan from the bar in Montrose. Opportunity. Opportunity at the bar in Linen when he was leaving. There she was. Opportunity. He had been drinking. Opportunity arose. And again, I point right back to the same guy, because Ann Pates, Mary Pryor, Elizabeth Collins, Larry Cook, the two girls there in Delphi, all of them were done. Same guy, same exact guy. And I want you to know that. I want you guys to know, man. I got a lot of, let me tell you, man, I'm should be a little bit more hungry, because I got pie charts out the backside. Look at those pie charts. Would you look at these pie charts? Look at that. We got enough pie to live on for a week. Yes. Now, you know what? I'm glad that you bring that up, Ivy, because I'll tell you right now. I talked to Sheriff Chris Swanson of Genesee County, Michigan. He is the sheriff now. He was the undersheriff back in the day of these murders. And when I called him, and I mean, there's so much that I can't say, but I did not tell him that it was an interview. But he thought that I believe that he felt that it was, because the way that he was answering. And when I called up with my tip, I had made the comment that, okay, you have two unsolved brutal rapes and murders. In both, you have DNA and fingerprints. Yes. That's what he said. Yes, because that is what's in the paper. Yes, that is fact. In two little bitty small towns in your county. I said at that time, I believe that the DNA and the fingerprints from both match, but you could not go forward and tell the public for fear that they would freak out that there was an unknown brutal murderer out there on the loose in their county. I will not give his answer on that, but I'll tell you, he will be on my show in due time, and he can give it to you. Because there are a lot of things here that connect to what it is that I'm telling you is the reality. And I don't want people walking away confused. I don't want people out there, man, like, being pie charts of stupidity, looking things up, thinking they're learning something when they're really just looking through garbage and remembering garbage, and then releasing and regurgitating further garbage to just pollute the entire atmosphere of what's going on. When people look into a crime like that, and that's how they look into a crime, they look into every crime like that. They're looking at it through the eyes of the National Enquirer. No different. Oh, you remembered your question? Outstanding. T&J, please give me your question, because I am interested in answering. It takes time to type, and plus we got the delay. So hang on. Yeah, hang on a second. Let me grab the phone. I didn't think it'd be a phone. Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Yeah, I didn't want to leave that out there. I also watch Truth and Justice's channel. I do, whenever I see that she's live. Call. Hooked up. Hang on. Let me throw up a number here. Bam. There's the number. Call in just like that. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Yes.
Katt.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay, well, call back. I think that there was a glitch in the line, maybe. I could hear the phone ringing. I think she had YouTube on in the background. Give it a sec. See if she don't call back. Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I need to turn my YouTube down, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Okay, I muted it.
Okay.
Okay, so my question is, so, okay, do you think when he did this crime in with the Catholic supply store that he was done committing crimes because of the way he did it? Like, I mean, he had to, this is just my opinion, he had to know he was probably going to get caught.
Yep.
And so he was like, you know, this is it, and this is the way I'm going to go out, finish it. And like, he didn't really care if he was going to get caught, and he just, you know what I'm trying to say? I'm probably not saying it right.
No,
I'm meaning to, but
you are. I think that it revolved around CC Moore. I really do, because me and Greeno, actually, because I got a hold of Greeno. He was in Delphi at the time. John D. Miller was arrested up in Fort Wayne. Now, we went through the whole route on this, because when he was arrested, then we made a video where we was talking to CC Moore. In fact, we titled it on my old channel, To CC Moore. Now, we was talking about the way that they had used familial DNA to break that down to a family line. Now, she was put on the case, or started the case, in May of 2018. Now, in July of 2018, this is after she had already used the software to break that down to the family name of Smith, took that down to him and his brother and said it's one of these two men. Then law enforcement had to go to their garbage, get things that would have their DNA on it, and then test that back against the DNA that they had. Now, that's going to take about 2 weeks to hot track. That's if they was hot tracking it, and I doubt that they were. They may have, but I will put it at 2 weeks minimally. That means that she went in fresh and had this guy, man, like fully, right here it is, this one of these two men, in a month and a half. So when we got hold of Carroll County and asked if they was going to use that, you know, then Sheriff Lesby just kept leading us down a little trail. Well, we're looking into it. Do you have any contact? Yeah, and then next day, like, it comes out that they're going to use that. I'm like, yeah, that guy was just kind of playing us along a little bit, which is cool. That's fine. I mean, he's law enforcement. He can. But, you know, I was telling people, me and Greeno, that, hey, within a couple months, we'll know who did this. Now, it just so happens, if you go from July, August, September of 2018, that was right about the time that I figured that we would know who did it, that they would come out with that, having arrested the guy. That's when he sexually assaulted the 77-year-old down there in St. Louis.
Okay.
Hey,
sorry.
go ahead.
My doggies out.
It's cool. I understand that. Hello.
Yeah, because, well, I don't know. I just been thinking about that all weekend since your last live, and then tonight, and then I forgot my question because I'm ADD. And, but yeah, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, you know, he had to have known he wasn't going to get away with this one.
Well,
you know, because
again,
he had to know.
You know, 2 months afterwards, because I knew that he knew, because he was looking into the crime, same as law enforcement said they would, that they'd be looking into this crime, you know, seeing what law enforcement knew. So he was keeping tabs on the crime. Now, when he saw that she would be working the case, right, or the same technology as she used, he knew that time was limited. He knew that in due time, they was going to come to his door. So 2 months in, right about the time that he felt that time was getting short, he goes and commits a pretty hardcore crime right there in his backyard. Now, that's the first one that I can name that he did right there near his house, within that area, was the 77-year-old. The month after that, in October, that was the traffic pullover. That's when he's calling the cop, man. I pay your taxes for, and he's sitting there yelling at the cop, being all drunk and disorderly. Cop lets him go. I don't even care why. The cop let him go. I'd still be doing time. Now we forward that 1 month again, and we go to November of 2018. Now you got the Catholic supply store sexual assault and homicide. Now I can tell you right now, he knew when committing that. He knew before he even started to commit it that he was going to be hit. He was going to be caught. People two buildings down knew who he was. I mean, he knew that he was going to be hit for that. But I think that he was looking at cop suicide because he had a handgun. He thought they was going to come knocking on his door and they would kill him because he was going to start firing. Quite contraire, mon frere. They kicked his freaking door in and went in and got him. He went out fighting. That's why he's got that black eye in the mugshot, because that's what he thought was going to happen. They was going to come knocking. He was going to have a shootout with him, and he was going to die. And that's why I feel that all that happened. It was a mental breakdown because he knew time was short. He knew that he did not have long, and he was going to be hit for all of this. So we might as well go out dead, going out in a good glory, than it is than to go out as a serial murderer.
Okay. Well, that's all.
Well, thank you for calling, though.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, man. And thanks for modding, too, man. I seriously appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You have a good evening.
You too, Katt. Bye-bye.
Bye. Any more? Yeah. You know what? There's things there, man, that kind of say could be Masonic. Cops are generally, for the most part, in the Mason, and a lot of times they will let the other slide on such things as being a little drunk and driving, shit like that. Me, I'd still be behind bars, but if you're a Mason, there it is. You'd probably get over on that. Well, I hope that was a good answer, T&J. But is there any more questions? Anybody got something else they want to ask? Anything at all? Just throw up a Y if you do, and then if not, if I count 68 no's, then it's over, man. Game over. I haven't played chess in over a week. That bothers me, and I should seek therapy for that. Oh, wait. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. My bad. Also, somebody who I have not seen here this evening, Leslie Hill. Thank you. This show is also dedicated to her. And, okay. Katie Lacey has a question. I like good questions, man. I do. Nobody likes a good question better than me. Nobody. Thank you very much for being here, Truth and Justice. I appreciate it. I really, really do. You too, Justin. Have a good week. Appreciate you being here. I really, really do. Sorry if I come off as a hothead. It's just how I do on my show sometimes. Make apologies. Stuff. But just kind of where this goes after about 4 years, man. You get a little short. You start not knowing how to take people. Oh, man, that's the wrong one. Okay. That is my donation, if anybody cares. That's how we used to keep the lights on for Woof. That's just my lights. That allows for good reading at night. Oh, hang on. Do you think he was drunk when he committed the murders? Yes, I do. I think that he was. Wait, hold on. Let me back this up. Let me go back up here for a second. Do you think TB is going to plead insanity? I doubt it. I doubt that he will. I mean, he could. But the thing is if he's going to plead insanity down there, I think that we would have. But then again, I mean, you know what? I really don't know down there. And fact is, the overall goes, it would be kind of hard for him to commit or to for them to buy into the insanity, because it was all done by stealthy means. He knew that what he was doing was wrong, and he went out of his way to keep it hidden. Well, when you go through all of that, then it kind of shows that you're not really insane. You understand that what it is that you're going to go do is wrong, and you're doing everything to keep it from other people. So it'd be kind of hard for him to, employ that. But I'm not going to say that they won't, man, because look, man, I've heard of the Twinkie defense. You know what I mean? It's not that people won't, but it kind of makes it a little harder. Do I think he was drunk when he committed the murders? Yes, I do. I think on about every count, he had been drinking and was at least to a degree intoxicated. Do you think the girls were tied up? I've always thought he had a small coil of rope in the front of his jacket, just how it looks to me. I really don't know. And, it's, again, it's one of those things. The crime scene itself, there's very little that I can tell you on that, because there is very little released, and anything that I would know, anything that I really would know about something that was to be held back from the public for reasons of the investigation, I would not talk on. I would not speak on that. And again, look, man, if law enforcement came to me, man, right up the road here and said, dude, we want you to stop with the videos, man, okay? Just stop, because, there's things that we're doing that we can't speak of, but it's really going to be messing us up if you're doing that. I would halt. I would stop. But since they have not, I must put into my mind that what I'm doing is not necessarily wrong. It may not be what they want, but it is not wrong. Because if it interfered with the investigation I would not be doing it. I would not. Because the biggest thing that I want is that man arrested and tried. Was his childhood considered normal? See, I don't really know. There's very little about his childhood that we can really look at, because in order to know those things, you would have to reach people that was his friend when he was little, somebody that was really close to his family, something along that line. And those people I would not reach out to. It's just like his family, his friends. There's very little that I'm going to reach out and, actually give from somebody. Now, I did reach his neighbor that was on the news. I knew her name. She was easy enough to find. And I did locate her, and I did ask her a couple questions. And she told me, and she was not happy about it. And I thought, well, it's kind of stupid that you're unhappy about this. And she was plenty happy to get on the news and discuss it with your name right there. But she said, well, I will tell you what I told the FBI. I don't know whether that video is him or not. I can't tell. Now, if she, being his neighbor, was asked by the FBI if he looked like the bridge guy video there in Delphi, then I must inquire, why would the FBI be that wonder, about him being the bridge guy? This is the Federal Bureau of Investigations. They don't mess around. If they know that a guy ain't that guy, they go about their effing way. They don't go asking neighbors or questions of neighbors of people concerning other crimes in other states. They don't do that. This is very different. You know what? I wish so. I still have mine. It's got a hole right here in it. So somebody did, and I wish that person would say something, but somebody bought one of my t-shirts. I also have Wolf t-shirts. Check the description below. You'll see them down there. It's on, I think, SPREADSHIRT, and it's got Michael J. Katt, and it's got Woofer, you know, the little true crown prince of Uganda. But I do have merchandise down there, and all you gotta do, man. I mean, people wanted it forever and ever and ever. I get it. And what happened? I get one lady to buy something, and I thought, man, I wish you would have reached me. I would like to know what a woman looked like in my t-shirt. It'd be kind of cool seeing myself on a woman's t-shirt. I wonder if it was Jody Arias that bought it. It'd be kind of sweet, wouldn't it? Be like right there next to her all the time. Feeling all cool and shit. Look, man, I'm on their boobs, dude. How good times. Okay, so anybody with another question? Got one more question. Come on, man. Need somebody with the really good question. Somebody. Hey, Nick, man, right on. Man, you know what? Sharon, Deborah, Ant-Man, Carmen Essence, Carla. Man, everybody's here. Man, I feel a little setback now. Man, everybody's here, and I ain't even like dressed for it. Gotta get a video ready and shit. Kind of a custard look. General George Custard. The beard and shit. So nobody has a question? Is that it? Is that really it? Or maybe just my chat stopped. Give it a second, it'll go like 300 comments. Seriously, man, it just stopped. I mean, are people out there? Oh, there you go. Ah, Freckle Joy has one. Freckle Joy. Oh, I'm waiting for Freckle Joy. Hang on. Yeah, it kind of does, but it goes back to like Daniel Nations. They went out to talk to Daniel Nations in Colorado, Indiana, investigators for Delphi, and they were turned around once they got there by his public defender. His public defender said, different state, different crime, no warrant, not speaking to him until I'm no longer representing him. So they do have that. And when I talked to Kim Riley about it, about about Thomas Bruce, he finally, he's like, oh yeah, right, okay, well, he's down there on some very heavy charges, and they got a lot to deal with him down there. Like, I understand that, and I do understand that. It's like I tell people, we wouldn't want anybody up here messing with this crime. You see where I'm at? We wouldn't want anybody putting their fingers into that pie when we got him on trial. And the same applies down there. They don't want Delphi. They don't want Michigan. They don't want Iowa. They don't want all these people showing up, asking questions, putting more pressure into it, because that really puts it out there that this guy's not going to get his due process there in Missouri. So, yeah. I don't think that he will plead guilty. He stayed to the side of not guilty, but down in Missouri, he did leave those 2 women alive that seen everything. I don't know how he could bypass on that. I really don't. I think that they're going to hit him with life without parole down there, but then that's when the rest of the show gets started. Soon as that trial down there ends, it probably shouldn't be that long, but, you know, I'm also saying that while we got the bullshit COVID out there taking over people's lives, giving them like cancer and shit, man, immediately on contact, you know, so we got to deal with that government bullshit. We got to deal with that every day like good slaves. So with that being in the way, God only fucking knows, you know, it's like the stupidity of people that just fucking believe anything. Seriously, Deborah, people are just out there like that. So I don't think that he's going to plead guilty. I think that he's going to fight it, because at the end of the line, the biggest thing that he's looking at is life without parole. And he knows already he's never getting out. He knows that there's never going to be a day where he gets out of prison. So he's not looking at that as I'm going to plead guilty and, you know, just wrap this up in it. Didn't Kelsey say she walked up the private drive during the initial search? How did she miss the shoes? Well, here's the thing. I heard that the shoes were on the south side. Do I know that? Not actually. And anything that Kelsey said, I would take with a grain of salt. I really, really would. Now, I think that them being on the south side, I think that that would be more in like maybe mud, something along that line where a shoe would come off, because they were walked across the creek. And I don't know that if, provided only that the shoe was on the south side of the creek, that it was on the private drive, because that private drive is right at the bottom of the hill where you go off the tracks, you go down that hill, you reach the private drive, but then you got the walking space that goes back down another hill. Now, where he said guys down the hill, that could have been on the railroad tracks above, on the bridge down the hill, or he could have said that at the private drive down the hill, guys down the hill. So, you know, it does lay in question as to where that was, but I don't really know how she could have missed the shoes. I don't know if the shoe or shoes were on the south side. It depends on how much you put into what another person says. I didn't see where law enforcement came out and said that the shoe was found on the south side. Maybe they told somebody else that then related that a shoe was found on the other side. But again, I go back to the fact that there was, and if you look at news reports, they say hundreds of people were searching that night. Now, that's from, we're going to put that at relatively 6 p.m. to midnight. That's 6 hours of hundreds of people searching. You see where I mean? It's now, if they had found that shoe that evening, on the 13th, if they had found that shoe over there on the south side, I think that that would have gave them reason to say, okay, now we do have some kind of sign of foul play, because she wouldn't have took her shoe off and then left. You know, that would be a reason to have foul play. Whereas the sheriff ended the search that night by saying, we have found no signs of foul play. And of course, you know, with the weather. And I back him on that, because look, crimes like that don't happen in Delphi. If you look at crimes where, like, you know, 2 girls were abducted, murdered, that's it. In all of Carroll County history, this is it. This is the big one. Yeah, man. Do you know what? I've covered that to like every end. I ain't even going over that again. Thank you. You know what? I really don't. He had the 2017 Kia, but mind you, this happened in February of 2017. Now, if you go back on his Twitter account and you look at when he was posting, he posted up till November of 2016. And then he had no Twitter, like nothing in Twitter at all, until April of 2017. So from November of 2016 till April of 2017, he was without money. He filed bankruptcy in January of 2017, resigned from his job, was unemployed at the time of Delphi. Remember that, because that's important. Also, when you look at the FBI profile on the Evansdale murderer, they state that at the time of this murder, the guy may have been experiencing financial issues or a loss of a job. Happened 1 month before that one, just like Delphi. He lost a job. The dates are reversible, 7/13/12, 2/13/17. There are things that start to add up after a while. When you're looking at things and you want answers and you start looking for these answers and you start finding more, things start to add up to a point. If I was a detective for law enforcement and I was looking over this case and I came across this man and I had looked at all of this and came up with what I have, I could hand that to the guy above me and say, I want you to look this over. I think I have enough here to make a case against this man. That's where I sit now. I think that he is and always has been since the 13th of February 2017. He's been the Delphi suspect. And I'm trying to let people know that he is that suspect because he's coming up on charges really soon. I don't want anybody to go, you know, I was kind of on your side there for a while until I watched GH's channel and, you know, he really had a good promoted, high edited, woo-whoop-de-woo. I don't want people to fall into that. Look, man, I'm like over here, man. I'm like on this 90% kind of thing. That's where I like to be, man. About 90% of my correctness. That 10% is the speculation of one or two things happen. And that's what I point out. Either this happened or this happened, but one or the other happened. Which one? I don't know. I don't know which one because I'm not a mind reader. You know, I'm not a psychic, but I can say that one of these two things did happen in those times. You know, and I try to keep everything in a factual way here. That's my job. It's what I get paid for. Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. And you see, there may be a reason for that. There may be a reason because he left those two alive because he knew that if it ever came down to it, they would have to be in the courtroom. Makes a serial killer think. Oh, in the vehicle. He had a 2017 Kia. But the thing is that 2017 Kia, when he was out of money in November of 2016, and people go, well, but they release him early. I understand that, but isn't nobody going to buy a new car to bankrupt themselves? You see where I'm at? You know, he had vehicles. So I don't think it was the 2017 Kia, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I'm going to say statistically, probably not that 2017 Kia. Besides that, the 2017 Kia would have been GPSable. And I do know that they could run that as to like what vehicle was GPSing from the area of the abandoned CPS building. I think that would have made it pretty easy to find out who did it with the FBI, but I don't know exactly the vehicle. You know what? I really I wish I did because my thoughts initially were this. Law enforcement never mentioned a vehicle, not in any press conference. Now, if, say, there's a bank robbery in Indianapolis, okay, and they get the guy coming in. The guy's wearing, like, let's say a stocking over his face, something like that, man. You know, I need your money. Now, when he drives away, they can show the vehicle type that's driving away and say he was driving like a maroon Plymouth, blah, 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 blah. You know, because then people can look at that and say, well, I know a guy that drives one like that was, you know, and they can make a connection with the vehicle. So I always felt that if they had a vehicle, a make and model type, that they would have gave that out. So I stood to a side for a long while that this guy may have been from Delphi. Why? Because I said, if there was not a vehicle used, and this is the same thing I asked Sheriff Lesenby, I said, well, you guys never mentioned a vehicle, a make, model, or anything. He's like, yeah, you're right. So if he had no vehicle, well, we knew he wasn't walking down the highway. We know he didn't walk down County Road 300. Nobody seen him. Nobody seen him walking back into Delphi. Nobody seen him going out on the highway. So it seemed to me that if he did not have a vehicle, he would have had to come from Delphi, until I found that Thomas Jerome Bruce had a vehicle. And once I spotted the route from St. Louis to Michigan and Fort Wayne that took the Hoosier Heartland, I said, that's a path this guy's traveled many times. He knew all about Monon High Bridge Trail. He seen it as a safe place where people didn't know him by face or name. He could go there, commit a crime in all likelihood, and get out without being seen. That was his hope. That's what he wanted. And it almost happened. It almost did. But then again, it failed him, thankfully. Thankfully, it failed him. Now we will see him one day. One day he will be on trial for that. One day he will hang by his sack for it. It's the hope I have. How you doing, Deborah Sunshine? I've already dedicated the show. But if not, man, you would have been right up there. Know that. Any more questions? Because now I'm in a question answering mood. And normally at this time, I would point over there and I go like, I always get like this at the end, don't I? That's all right. But I can't. In fact, I'm going to pie chart this. Say that is how much right there. Actually, I'd black that out. That's how much I miss my little bear. He was the only thing that I had, man. He was my closest link to immediate family. I wish that dogs lived forever. I wish that dogs lived until you died. You know, wouldn't that be something? That way you'd never have to worry about it, man. You'd never ever have to worry. They would always be there. Yeah, you're more than a little late, man. In fact, by now I'm normally off the air. You know, by 8:30, man, I'm usually already out here. But man, see, I spent a whole show. Look, man, I spent a whole show. Right, I want you to look at this, Dave. I want you to take a quick look at this here, because if it's one thing I have tonight, it's some pie charts. Oh, do I have some pie charts here? Look at that shit. Oh my God, man. Let me tell you, if I was in a mood for pie right now, I'd be throwing some a la mode on it, because I have some pie charts. Well, that's exactly what it is. Way of exploding, Chris. That's exactly what it is. It's a generic sketch. It's one that they can say, look here, look right here. Look what we got. This is old. This is the real deal. Yeah, don't look at that as a sketch anymore. No, that's very secondary. This is the man we're looking for right here. Right here. Right here. Get people to look. When St. Louis called, man, that's what they said. Hey, we got a guy down here we arrested that was dressed like your guy, looks like your sketch, never committed a crime before. Okay? Maybe your guy. We're letting you know. Well, what do you do once you know? Once you send your DNA in and it's matched, once you show the people that seen him this photo with other people and they say, yeah, this guy right here, well, what do? Because now you've got to wait till that crime ends down there. Until his conviction, you can't say anything. You can't go talk to him. So what do? You got to feed people what it is that they want to hear. We got a new sketch. Hey, just by chance, we seen somebody, somebody seen him without his hat on that day. Yeah, we know what the top of his head looks like. Hold on. Man. Fucking bullshit. Wow, man, didn't you hit that, man? Well, I guess this isn't monetized now. You know what? That's a very good question, Carla. It really is. Because I don't know. I think that he was there to kill. I mean, because if he did not kill, it would not have been it would not have been something that he was seeking to do. I think in most cases that he likes to kill, and brutally, just like at the Catholic supply store. I think tomato, one of them was going to die. I mean, it was just a matter of which one would refuse first. But I think that he was going to do that till one just said, no, I'm not going to do that, and then kill them. But that's me on that. You know, I don't know the inside facts of the crime itself at Catholic supply store. We know what apparently happened. We know what apparently went down. Just like in Delphi, we know what happened and we know what was committed to a degree, but we don't know the inside of that. And I'm thankful, because that is where I don't want to be. I don't want to be on the inside looking at that, because I would be different. I would be that guy that would be taking college courses to be prosecuted so I could kill some people for that. Missouri, yes, it is. And he was not given the death penalty because of a new Democrat prosecutor. No, that makes us as bad as they are. We don't want to be like that, do we? No. Let's give him life without parole. That's what we need to do. We need to do what's right. Shit. Give me the rope. Give me the rope. Just give it to me. Let's just see how this plays out. Did anybody ever see Falling Down? There's a good analogy. That's kind of my side to it. I'm kind of that man, you know. Give me the rope, man. Let's see how it plays out, man, real quick. I ain't doing anything right now. Oh, man, 10 toes. You know what I say here every week, man? For at least 2 hours? Not a tooth in my head, man. You're talking about receding gums. Yeah, my gums receded. They receded all the way back. All right, man. Well, let's keep it rolling, people. And you know what? It looks like you got really nice gums in the photo. I just want to point that out. Oh, oral surgeon. Oh, I see. Well, that might be a little bit, you know. Well, questions, people. Thanks for being here, Mark Ray. I appreciate it. I really do. I like it when people show up, but I mean, I do. It's like last week, I was totally unprepared to really be speaking on a lot. I was just kind of more question and answer. But this week, I did want to pull this out because there is a lot of that. And when I look at people, it is what it is. They go to every channel. They look at everything that they can on this. And at the end of the day, man, after years of it, their heads just so floated with bull crap, man. They don't know truth when you point to it because they don't see that as truth. That don't fit everything that I've looked at for like 4 years. Like, you got to be wrong. My God, it was a gang, man. It was led by flannel shirt guy. Dude, why don't you know that? You know, this is people. This is how they look at it. They don't look at it with any realism as to what could have really happened. They don't see it. They won't. They can't. You know what I did? I did, man. I mean, look, I had some really nice teeth. I mean, I really did. Now, I'm not saying all of them because I had the molars in the back, man, that were like, of course, had cavities and stuff. But I went to the dentist, but because I was on Medicaid and Medicare, man, you know, I told him, I says, well, can't you just cap these or something like that and, you know, call it a thing? Because like I had my front teeth bonded, which is cosmetic, and they do not cover that with Medicaid and Medicare. So I had to pay for that out of pocket. And he's like, well, if you want to go that route, why don't you just have them extracted and then get dentures? All right. Made that stupid mistake. Still got the dentures, man. Looked like Gary Busey, man. Told him, man, I said, don't leave my teeth hanging in the front, man. Now I'm like, oh, my teeth hanging down to here. And I'm like, nope. Won't wear that shit again. No. Would rather be without. He goes to his jury trial starts on October 13th. That is forthcoming. And that's why I say we don't have long, Cody. Just down the road. But when when it is done, when charges will be filed against him, Greeno will be out of jail. Greeno will be helping. Greeno will be around. Me and Greeno will be covering that. Believe me, we will. This is going to be all that we really worked for a bigger part of 4 years. It's kind of what led into his channel in a way. He had Southern Bounty. But I mean, mind you, that was more of like a reality show. You know, I'm going to go arrest these people, you know, and you're going to be there live when we go arrest them. So, you know, and I told him after that, I said, get rid of Southern Bounty. I said, people don't know you as Southern Bounty. They know you as Anthony Greeno. Change your channel name. And he did that. And, you know, because him and I were both working on Delphi at the same time. But when he would go make a video, normally speaking, I would be in it to some degree. And when I made a video, he would be in it, you know, but we normally had that there was his videos and then there was my videos. And we both worked on both sets together, but they would go on different channels, either his channel or my channel. And then we started with, well, since we work on these together, we should make a third channel, WKAT, for the ones that we do together. And we may be operating on WKAT at that time, you know, when he gets out, because there will be a lot of videos that we will be doing together that will be on this case. And aside of that, he wants to do other cases. And I said I would happily do other cases, but I don't want to tabloid other cases. You know, I think that when people fall into the tabloidism and the mythology and all this, they believe a little bit of this and some of that, then it degrades the crime. It degrades what it is that we're doing. I like to keep things real. I don't like to keep things on a fake, get views, you know, like clickbait. I hate that. I don't want that. You know, that's a bad move. But Greeno is as Greeno is, and Greeno was born with a mind of a reporter. I mean, you know, he does the reporter very well. Editing, he's very good. He loves to edit. I hate to edit. I can edit, but I don't like to. I like to sit and edit with someone else, though, you know, because, you know, it's like using what you know to really capture and bring out what it is that they want. But if I'm sitting down and I'm going to edit my own video, I don't care for that. Editing somebody else's video, I do kind of enjoy, though. Yeah, exactly. It kind of goes back to the give me the rope thing, you know. I don't know what Greeno's intentions are when he does get released. Him and I have kind of discussed that, but you know, right now he's just getting out. He's getting his stuff back, his video equipment, and thus forth. And he's really big on resuming his channel. So, you know, we'll kind of cross that when we get to it. Yes, it will, Kim. It will be here in just a few months, I believe, barring any COVID bullshit. And believe me, it's going to get thick really quick. So if you got a mask on, remember that you're wearing a mask because you're a good fucking contented slave. And it is no different than that. You're doing it because you're a slave and your fucking master told you to. Never forget that. If you wear a mask, you're a contented little slave. There it is. If If you think a bandana is going to stop a fucking virus, you're probably an idiot. You probably got out third grade, man, with just like a C- on your paper. The what? The dumbbell case. Dumbbell case? No. Anybody else? Throw a Y up if you got a question. Make it a Y. My chat goes down every couple few minutes. And then I'll go, huh? I'll be like, shit, man, there's like 100 questions there. It's hard to get back to. Man, I need to drink a pop anyway. Dr. Pepper, man. It's the real deal. See, 23. Take care, Wombat, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you stopping by, man. Canada, I do believe. Or, I mean, Australia. Wombat Dundee. It's a cool name. Yeah, thanks for being here, Sharon. Glad you enjoyed it. Well, if that is it, if that's all, then I'm going to be signing out here. I appreciate everybody that showed up tonight, everybody that viewed. I hope that somebody got something out of this show. All mods, Sue, Incognito. You see, I got to look for wrenches. I made a lot of people a moderator, but it's because of you guys that I do this show. Because look, man, if nobody was watching, if nobody was paying attention, why would I care? Why would I care what anybody's got to think about it? I would just be out here on my own saying, okay, man, did that. That would be the highlight of it. But when I'm trying to give you guys truckloads of information, it's hard for people to take it in, man, because they watch a lot of other channels. Their heads kind of, I would say, polluted, man, by like nonsensical crap. People that's never been there telling them like, the expanse of the trail. What expanse? You people just don't know what the hell it is they're saying most of the time. And I hate that. That's why I don't watch other people's channels. If I watch somebody else talking about this case and just within a minute or two, I'll be like, and no, because I can't do it. All right, everybody. I will see you next Tuesday, if not beforehand. Peace. And I want everybody out there to have a fantastic week. Later on, everybody. Thank you very much, Kim.